Well, hello and welcome. It's Monday, almost said Thursday, at 12:30 p.m. I don't know why it's Thursday. 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're here every Monday at that time for a live show of Trucking Answers. I want to welcome everybody. Hey, KLLM's going to pay $150,000. I think we should all go work there. What do you think? Does anybody believe that? America's road team is out, and they're all from just a few companies. Isn't that something? A snowplow caused a bunch of accidents. Do you see that video? There's a reporter that I spoke to yesterday that needs your help, and I'll tell you how to get in touch with her. There's a cruise ship that has an arrest warrant for the cruise ship as sent in by an astute viewer. And we have other things going on as usual, fuel and everything like that. So let's see what's going on out there today. Welcome. Joan Harper was first the other day, yes, and Cash is King Trucking was first here today. So welcome today to everyone. Let's see. Trucker Hershey, I see you got some problems. Let's see if we can get you home. Let's see if we can work on that today. Charles Contreras is here today. Joan Harper's here, right? As we said. And let's see. Paul Vines is here. Hello. All right. So as I get going on my place here, George Wilson, what's going on? Roger Penske. It's good to see you today. Creature 937, Roy is here. Coffee and wheels. All right. Both those things most drivers need. Supernova, hello, Flat Highway. What's Block Indiana, California? Yeah, I don't know why people go there. Other than the weather, right? Roy is here today. Donovan, -2 in Fargo. Yikes. -2 in Freedom units, I can assume. So that's good. Dylan, I missed you last week. Took a vacation. Nice. Bahamas, I assume. Hope all is well. And Gracie. Oh, Gracie. She's so tired. She's sleeping. Turned her back to me. Crazy. Guess because I wouldn't give her any more chows. Juan told Werner I wasn't going to drive on unplowed highways because I want to save a Werner truck. Staying home getting paid with a Wiener in my hand. Do they pay for that? So do they have some kind of policy where they pay you? That's pretty good. Jail travel say drivers sitting at a yard in Birmingham waiting to go pick up my load of engines for Indiana. What kind of engines are you bringing here? Are you going to Subaru? That's the plant here. Will you come to town? Donovan, if you let me contact Marie and let me know if she responds to you. Who's Marie? Let if you contact Marie and let know if she responds to you. Here's my email. Who's Marie? Chicken Hauler, hello from Alabama, and email that to me. I can't write anything down right now. Today is my first day flatbedding. Nice. Load pays good, but it takes forever to load plastic sheets. Well, at least they sit on there good, I guess. Happy Roller Arena Monday from Nashville. Keltarusu Travels. Yeah, it's a great day. Plastic sheets. Silver, I just spent 4.5 hours because of a truck fire on 64. Did you see that truck that basically exploded last week on I-80 in Illinois? Was that crazy? There was an accident. The truck basically exploded out by Manuka or something out there. Yikes. Jew Braca from Florida. Yikes. Probably warm there. It's 31 here now. Tomorrow night, get ready for it. 4 below 0 here in Lafayette. No more snow. Luke, I'm very annoyed. A place delivered to you have to check back out into the street. They come out when I was halfway done. My maneuver holding up traffic to tell me a pallet was wrong. Yeah, great. These idiots. They never think of, what anybody else has to go through. Howdy from the Stevens Dallas yard. All right. What's going on down there? Are there any loads there? Are they going to pay what KLLM pays? That's my question. Cash King Trucking, I just bought 2 turntables with my Loves Points. DJ service is now available for bar mitzvahs and quinceañeras. DJ name is Ricky. That's really good. That's really good. 2 turntables. They have all the latest stuff there. Eventually they'll get into this century even. When I went back, it was an error on their part and they sent me on my way. Oh, sorry. That's our fault. My bad. They go, see you later. You're a moil, a certified moil, Roger Penske. Do you offer those services to drivers as well? Just wondered. Joan, it's raining there. Oh, just partly cloudy here, and we're about done with everything. So it is going to be a little warmer today, but then that's it. The bottom drops out of the temperature for a couple of days. Roy, $4.99. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hey, that's good. I appreciate that. Always appreciated. So thank you for that. And I lost my little spot. Where did I go off to? And my little cursor isn't working. That's what she said, right? All right. Enough of that before I get booted out of here. Thank you for Cash King. Settling the great debate. Dropping drive airbags does not put more weight in your drives. Right. That is right. Oh, let's see. I was there. It was horrible. Great family pictures. Right. Missed the Packers game. The Bears. Right. Mark, the TV has arrived. Thanks, GP Transco, John. All right. Thank you very much to them. Hopefully they'll be on here today. I think Trucker Hershey drives for them. I think. So if they get on here, we're going to see about getting Trucker Hershey back home. He said he had to take the Red Cross. Let's see if we can get that done. All right. I don't think he has to take the Red Cross home. We'll see what happens. I'd like to talk to him more about that. Okay, loads are available. All right, well then tell him to get you a load and tell him to contact me someday. After email him enough. All right, so that's good. Good, I'm glad there's loads. Get one and let's get moving. Paul Harris finally got a response from a DM about a load to pick up. Asked on Friday, saying I was taking the weekend off. Okay, I guess they figured you're taking the weekend off. We don't have to write back to you until Monday. Although I was like on the weekends, you'll get a load that pops in on Saturday that picks up Monday. You're like, oh, okay, now I know what I'm doing. 2 turntables and a microphone. Oh, is it a Mr. Microphone, Paladin? I had one of those. Hey, I'm on the radio. Anybody? I'm probably the only one that remembers that too. Turn it on and you turn the radio on an FM channel on your boom box and you came out of the radio. Oh, fascinating. 12 degrees in central Wisconsin. Wow. Well, it's going to be worse tomorrow. Model with pinking shears. Yikes. That would be a moil, right? Love the bell. The bell. You know, the bell comes from when the kids lived at home. And I don't know why, but whenever the kids would say a word that is an unusual word for them, like a larger word, they'd use some large word in a sentence, I would hit the bell. And I do that to this day whenever I see them. And they each have their own bell now for their kids. I gave them their own bell. And I do this for the wife, too, which annoys her. I'll hit the bell. So pretty funny. Still do it. I've done that for decades now. So pretty good. A lot of fun. Just a family tradition kind of thing that I guess I started. So, Joan Harper, where do you work? Well, it's good. It's early, too, to get that. And I don't get that question very often, which is good. I try to keep out of my videos. Keep some on the back burner there. I also don't recruit for the place, so I recommend that too. So that's I just don't I don't say keeps it cleaner that way. Moyle, getting closer on the spelling. You still up for that race, Mark? Flat Highway? Oh yeah, absolutely. Yesterday would have been a good day for that. Yesterday morning, absolutely. I was out blasting along in the snow in that Mark after dark. I was loading at the manhole. Oh, nice. Picking up a load there. Well, it just depends on the account you're on. I'm a Dollar General, and they pay people like nothing because no one wants to unload. Oh, okay. Right. Because people don't want to do that, so then they pay you. Yeah. Always find a niche that you're good with where you can make money that, do things other people are unwilling to do, and it gets you things other people will not get. I'll be giving free circumcisions to the manhole on Tuesday. Well, nice. That's nice of you. There's so much medical things going on there. That's really good. I had a Mr. Microphone and I got fined. So the FCC came and fined you? My parents basically took it away from me because I would set the radio up somewhere and turn it on loud and then talk through it, go blah, and scare my dad or whatever, and he'd smack me. So they took my Mr. Microphone. Waiting on a new license plate. Oh, who needs that? Hey, looking good. We'll be right back to pick you up. Yeah, great. It's 40 degrees and snowing at Lafayette at Tate and Lyle. Really? I show partly cloudy and 31. So, here in Lafayette, nice. That snow's going to go away, though. We're about done with that. 40 in Indy, that's great. Kept it cleaner, Wiener. Hey, good luck when we're back to pick you up later. The Mr. Microphone. Oh, that's right. Hey, that's right. I remember. Hey, I'm on the radio. Yeah. Now you get in trouble when you say that through a radio. Fleet Nav Systems is here. Happy Monday. How did the snow go for you up there? Pretty nice? I saw you were getting blasted by it. Mr. Microphone, hey, Sex, I'll be back to pick you up later. Her response is, no, thank you. Right. That'd be the best response I'd get. Is it too early to smell my finger? Yes. Last day for red alerts. Right. Oh, that's right. What's up, Market Trucking Answers fans? Keep on trucking and keep the great country moving. We're trying to. 18 to 21-year-olds now will be available to drive. Dollar General Werner paid me to bobtail 653 miles at 73 cents a mile. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. All the miles should pay the same. So if they bobtail you a long distance, I'm in. Sometimes they'll ask you, would you like to do a long bobtail? Sure, why not? I mean, yeah. Let's roll to Canada. Not today. It's too cold. I remember Mr. Microphone. 2 girls be back to pick you up later. See, that one I don't remember. I guess because no girls would talk to me then. So, but they barely talk to me now. other than say, get away from me. So certainly, maybe that's why I don't remember that part of it. And I just set it up at home as a, something for myself to do. Scott Reinvented. Good idea. Think the 34-hour reset should be optional for driver, but mandatory for the company. Oh, that's interesting. No, because they'll force you to do it then. If it's not forced on you and it's optional, they'll go, well, it's optional. You can keep driving. They'll put the squeeze on people. That's one of the best things about the electronic log, I think. It holds the company to a standard. They have to give you time off, whether they want to or not. Otherwise, they'd make you drive 24 hours a day. John, yeah, yikes. That's something. You're going to have to go look for that on your own. I declare the end of winter. I was hoping we were going to get through without any snow, although it was only around an inch here yesterday. Not terrible. My family up in Hammond, my sister-in-law said, 6 inches up there, so they got a little bit worse. And the Fleet Nav Systems got lots of snow. I saw that on the other side of the lake over there. Hope they turned the sidewalks on up there. Are we supporting the Canadian drivers? Sure, I'll support the Canadian drivers 100%. Sierra England got on strike on their YouTube channel. They can't upload anything for 30 days. Really? Where did you hear that? And how would the company itself get a strike on its own YouTube channel? I mean, what are they putting out? All their logos are their logos. How do you know that? How do you know that? We need Puxatawny Phil to have mercy on us. Yeah, that's right. A few days from that thing will be coming out. I love that. Oh, this gigantic furry beaver thing sees a channel. They shove the poor thing out of a hole basically put a plunger up its butt and shove it out there. It has no choice but to come out. It's a groundhog, right? Before people right in there. Long bobtails are common at the manhole. Tell them Canadians to join the Federation. Exactly. Although I don't know if I can help them as much. But absolutely. If you wear it, make it a parrot always. Always put something on your head. What was the strike for exactly? Oh, I wanted to tell you. Here's an email. I had it set up, right? Hopefully this works. No, it didn't work because I had to do something. Right, because I'm an idiot. Okay, so let's see here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it then. So, I wish that would have worked. Let me type it in. A reporter. Okay, here's the story. Before people are like, what is he talking about? So I talked to a reporter yesterday for about an hour. And she wanted to know about trucking schools and the contracts that schools put onto drivers and the contracts that they make you sign. And they were doing a story first about England, and then we went into other companies as well. She didn't realize that all these other companies do it, and they wouldn't talk to her. Companies wouldn't talk to her. Isn't that great? So we can write the story for them. And she wanted to talk to other drivers, any driver really, but especially drivers that had a contract to go to school, where the trucking company pays it, and then you have a contract with the company. So let me see if I can write it out here. I'll probably get her email wrong. Since I can't even read my own writing. I can't read my own writing, so I'm a complete idiot. And I can't get to it because I have everything off or the computer won't run. There's not enough memory. When this is over, I'll put her email in the description. And it is actually on the Facebook page, Trucking Answers, and on the Federation private Facebook page. I put it up there, so you can go see it there, get her email, and send her an email. If I knew what I was doing, this would work better. So, just great. Anyhow, I thought that would work, didn't work, and I can't read exactly what I wrote down. So, and I don't want her to get her email wrong because you're not going to be able to get to her. Facebook page, the best way to do it at the moment. At the end of this, I'll go and add her email to the description so I get it correct. Anybody that had a contract with a truck school, she'd really like to talk to, but she also just wants to hear from all drivers on what happens at this and, how the industry is. And by the way, she's written to many companies. They won't talk to her. So we get to write the narrative. They're going to stand back and we're going to write what it has to say. This has all happened in the last few weeks here, getting out the Federation. I've been in Business Insider now probably 3 or 4 times in the last week or two. And we're getting a message out now where they're taking us seriously. So that's how we're going to do that. And please go talk to her. She would like to talk to some drivers about that. And, she'll ask you if she can quote you, stuff like that in the article. And so, absolutely, please do it. So, there we go. I report all videos as harmful. All Sierra England videos as harmful. Yes, they harm everyone. She didn't know about the 3 bunk trucks and all that. I explained all that to her. So this is the thing. Once you talk to the press, they're very interested in the truth of what is happening in the industry and all the free waiting time and all that. She didn't understand that, and so now she does. And the companies could have had their say, but they chose not to talk to her. So, sunny and 65 in Vegas. Nice. I'd like to bet on that. Fleet Nav Systems is here to answer Geotab and ELD questions until 1. If anyone wants to tag you. And then you probably have to go out and shovel again, probably. You have 14 feet of snow that they had up there. Fleet Nav Systems headquartered in snow country. So, pretty nice if you like snow. And even 0 degrees in in Celsius, however much that is, in Spanish Fork, Utah. I'm thinking of going back to college here at Spanish Fork, U. Nice. Canadian drivers call bobtails beaver tails. Very good. Beaver's going to beaver. That's what they say. Furry beavers are uncommon at the manhole. Yes, that is very true. They're not friends of rodents. A friend of mine told me some of the music they use in their videos got copyrighted. Really? We should go check. I haven't checked their channel, but they do their own videos. I don't know if you've seen it. They have their own singing videos in that, but that is true. For anybody on YouTube or really anywhere else, you cannot post copyrighted music in your video, even if you're only using a second or two of it. YouTube and all these places, they have computers that go through and listen, and anything they pick up, anything copyrighted, boom, you're done. You can't have a TV on in the background, radio. Be very careful of that. You can get your channel removed because of that, and it just even something you're not thinking of. That's why some things that I'd like to film, I don't, because there's music playing in the background. I was at the Chicago Auto Show a few years ago. Thought I'll do a video. No, they're playing music in the background, right? So you got to always be thinking about that kind of stuff. I woke up this morning to my girlfriend screaming at me. How do you get in my apartment and who are you? Not a great way to wake up. Yeah, especially since it's not your apartment. And she didn't know she was your girlfriend. That's the other part of it. Send me your email. I still got my contact when I started driving. Oh, really? Yeah, okay, yes, exactly. What was I talking about is Maria, remember Alta was on here show. Maria, I don't remember. Now that Mark is the second coming of Jimmy Hoffa. I don't know about that. That's something I don't even know if I'd want. He can tell you anything you need to know about contracts. Well, I can put him out on people, I wish. The second coming, that wouldn't be great. Hopefully we have a different ending. Companies are avoiding her because they know the backlash. Well, here's the thing. Whatever you do, if you have a contract, put it out there. Be proud of it. Whatever their deal is, like I told her, they go to the local press and they put, we feed kids. They stick this on their trucks and all that. And they put out how great they are. They buy a mile of road so they can get the sign out on the road. I go, but once you stick your head under the tent and you see exactly, basically how the sausage is being made, it's not so pretty. But whatever they're doing in their contract to people, they should just be proud of it. But don't hide. I told her when they have to hide, they're doing something wrong. And this is where we need to dig. And so I was happy to talk to her. Don't know if I should go to KLLM at 60 cents a mile. No, 150 grand. That was in the article. You can make 150,000 your very first year at KLLM. I wrote to them, no response. Okay, so because I want to know how does that possibly happen? And if there's some KLLM driver on here that has made 150,000 gross in the last 12 months, I'd love to have you, show us that. Any single driver that's done that, I'm in. How long ago does she want to know about? It doesn't matter. She'll be happy to talk to anybody about any information they have and, compile it and put it all together. So, and she'll talk to, you don't have to have a contract too, like I don't, but she just wants to know about it, and it's just especially talk to people that went through a truck school, but she'll be happy to talk to any driver. I definitely want to join Mark's new cult, Truckers Unite. Yeah, that's correct. And we have the secret handshake. And that's the same handshake to get in the manhole. Audio issues were on my end. Okay. Weather reports Arctic Express coming through at midnight. I saw that, right. It's going to be super cold. Will the Federation members be getting membership cards or memberships? Yeah, they can each get their own personal Mr. Microphone. I do think that cards would be a good idea as we get rolling along here. Yes, we're in like week 1 of membership. Let's make it better. Let's prove that all ATA is BS. Yeah. Why can't we make drivers that can't speak English or read and make them learn? Don't want to take anybody's job, just making the industry better. Yeah, we're not taking jobs. This is already a regulation. These aren't even new things you're talking about. This isn't even like, we want to change the industry. This is already how the industry works. So there's no reason people shouldn't do that already. Jen would like to go to Niagara Falls. Not right now. Too cold. So many ads on Facebook for drivers that tell you nothing. Right. And look at the comments. Look at some of those ads and go in the comments. People are asking questions and they're like, go check our website or whatever. They won't even answer your questions. Why can't they answer a question? What does it pay? Contact us on our website. Free sausage at the manhole at halftime, halftime of whatever's happening. 150 at KLLM have oceanfront property in Arizona. They put this out there, though, and they pay. That's what bothers me the most, that places like CDL Life ran it. A number of places are running it, and then news organizations like Fox Business picked it up as a story. Although the first ad I saw, it was sponsored. It says sponsored, so they paid. But even so, they should vet the ad and say, oh, wait a minute, this isn't real. Why doesn't the company say $2 million your first year then? Could I put that out there as long as I pay for the ad? The ad should at least have to have some kind of truth to it, because when it's run somewhere, at CDL Life or anywhere, on Fox Business, right, even just as a thing, it doesn't look good. It's like they don't care. They don't go into, they just don't care. They'll just take whatever money. So it, decreases how much respect I would have for that organization. 150 gross, but your net is 41,000. The only way to do it, right, Flat Highway, would have to be you come in as a student, go through training, and then lease a truck. And by the end of 12 months, you've grossed 150 because you leased a truck. And so, yeah, you make a $3,000 or $4,000 a week gross. But there's no way you netted any money as a lease operator starting in that first year. They're putting it out there knowing people are going to think one thing, but that's not the thing they're supposed to think. And it's disingenuous and really a lie, I think. But, can you gross 150? You could gross 150, so it's not really false, but it's not the 100% the truth. Captain Cleaner Winner, the biggest difference between men and women is that when a woman says, smell this, it's usually a pleasant odor. That's the thing about women. Let's just be honest. They all smell nice. I just don't understand it. Some women will come back, to work here at night. It's worked all day. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And then I'm like, how does she still smell good, right? I got to spray myself 50 times a day to Febreze myself every 5 minutes. I don't get it. I just don't understand it. Some things are just not meant to be understood, right? I thought the group was free. Well, you can join the Facebook page for free. Absolutely. Go over there, join the Facebook page. You can make more money. You can make more money than KLLM at the manhole if you really put your back into it. Very nice. It's all in the amount of work you do, right? Who remembers Maud? Change that tune to Mark, and there's Mark, and then there's Mark. Oh, right. Then there's Mark. Maud. Marine, by the way. She was a Marine. 150,000 and 1 million mile sticker after 2 years. Maybe that's how they figured it at KLLM. Well, they give you 5,300 miles a week at KLLM. This is the same place, right, with that 10 million mile driver. So I would like the membership cards to have numbers on them for seniority reasons. Absolutely. They would be numbered, and that's what costs more. When you get an individual card, it costs more to print them, because I've looked into that kind of stuff. And so when they're numbered, each card's different. So that all kind of stuff is coming. That kind of stuff will be coming. Been listening to your podcast every night. I pray that people stop messing up so we get to go to Mars. I want to live on Mars. There's all kinds of land. And here's the thing. You could get paid per mile there. There's tons of miles to get on Mars. Even though it's not as big as Earth, there's all kinds of room. So there'd be plenty of parking. It solves a lot of trucking's problems, to be honest with you. But we can't get there because there's a bunch of idiots here that we talk about on the podcast, which is every Tuesday and Friday, weather permitting. How can the driver shortage be if they won't respond to inquiries? Severe, yes. I was trying to explain that to her as well, because she said, well, the shortage. And I go, well, look, if they have 100% turnover, they're putting all these people in trucks. There's no shortage. No problem. Celtic Rooster Travels for founding members of the Manhole Federation. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You'll be the first manhole member. The manhole member. That's pretty good. Maybe it should have been named that. To my knowledge, that's a false advertisement. Push up life. Well, is it? I mean, here's the thing. Technically, it's true that you could go to training, lease a truck, and gross 150. So you made 150,000. Just that there's expenses. You still made it. But really what matters is how much you keep, not how much you make. If you make $1 million and it costs you $1.5 million to make that, are you a millionaire or are you $500,000 in debt? So, but you did make $150,000. But to say it like that, oh, new drivers can make $150,000. People that don't drive, they're going to think, oh, I can go into KLLM and make $3,000 a week. I mean, come on. Can't wait for the Federation event where you run across the stage with a parachute and then break into the Thriller dance, right? Then I get a strike for using the Thriller music. And in the 80s, I did that dance too. I'd have to be refreshed on it, but I could do most of it. Jail Travels, I'm here. Hello, Mark. All right, well, welcome. Hello. Do you get hate mail from truck lines? Not really. I get hate mail from drivers, basically. Not truck lines. No, because they won't even write back to me. Other than CRST blocked me, which I think is funny. But otherwise, no, I don't really get any hate mail from truck lines. Still Horse, hello. Hey, what's happening? Are cockfights legal to manhole? No, I think those aren't not legal in Indiana. They from the 1800s. They're encouraged, but not legal. Sitting in Birmingham, Alabama yard, Alabama, waiting to finish my break. Getting inverter installed. All right, in the International. And waiting to leave my to my pickup. Load of Cummins. You're bringing Cummins to us here in Indiana? They make them in Indiana. You're going to go to Columbus. You're going to go to Columbus. 150,000. Are they only working part-time? Well, not all of us are cash king. That's true. But that's first year, they suggested, and the way they write the article up, it's a press release, right? But they pay to put it in there. It looks like you could make even more money. So that's really something. Thanks, Jim. I'm investing in recently vacated cinder block apartments, John. There are a lot of vacated ones. You're going to have to clean the mold off the walls. So bring your own Clorox because they get kind of moldy. They're kind of musty or whatever. But yeah, that is a problem. It's a problem. And there's all these broken down metal chairs. I just don't understand people sometimes, what they're thinking. Here's a good idea. And it turns out to not be a really good idea or a good way to make money. Now, I did a survey on the private Facebook page, all right, at the United Federation of Commercial Drivers. And I asked, how would you rather be paid? By hourly, by a guaranteed pay, a salary, or cents per mile? And it was 77% of people preferred hourly pay. 20% was a guarantee, but you could make more. And then 3% said, I'll just take a flat salary every week. And nobody voted for the cents per mile because there's really there's no bottom to it, and that's a problem. At least on a guarantee, you have a floor that you can't go under. So that's what the story was. There's 77%, and my hourly was clock in, till you go home. The whole time you're at work, you get paid. So that's the preferred method. I wish companies would take note of that. So I'll be sending it to them. The United Federation of Commercial Drivers supports the Canadian drivers. Right, UFCD plans to invade Canada on MSNBC. With Rachel Maddow will cover that. Swordplay is popular at the manhole. There's a lot of cosplay down there. There's different days. Maybe they should put in those contracts that will make $150,000 a year, and it would be binding. Charles, well, and that's interesting because we had that discussion with the reporter, and she said, that companies' take would be, well, we're providing training, and so it should be that the drivers have an obligation so that we can make that money back. And I'm like, absolutely. I totally agree with that. But I think the company has then an obligation to provide a wage that is going to be a livable wage for somebody to be on the road. You can't say, because you owe me money, you have to stay here no matter what, because that becomes an indentured servant who has no choice but to stay, even though they're not making enough money even to support their family. You can't put somebody in a contract and then you pay them less money, you get the kickback from the government, and then expect the person to have to uphold everything, and the company doesn't have to uphold anything. It should be, a contract can only be valid for if it's a two-way street. The company should have to provide work. They can't just have you sit around for 3 days because they've made enough that week to get their contract payment. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Is there such thing as truck driver blood? I don't think truck drivers have any kind of different blood. There may be some vampires out there, but no, I don't think there's any truck driver blood. I don't know what that might be. I think you can make $150,000. They probably let you be a trainer after your third week. I wondered about that too, and I thought, is that being a trainer? Because they don't explain it. So say at 90 days you become a trainer. Is that what they're suggesting? But still, you're going to have to really crank out weeks over $3,000 for yourself as a trainer. And I don't see people doing that. A number of England drivers do keep in touch with me that are trainers and have 2 trainees. And they're doing $2,500 a week, which is good money, considering some weeks they don't drive at all, right? Which I don't know, that'd be kind of boring maybe. But I don't see them doing $3,000 on most weeks, so I don't know how that works. Did you ever get the new driver initiation with a trip to Hunts Point? No, I've never been to Hunts Point, of all places. So no, I've never been there. I believe the higher pay at KLM starts next month. Yeah, but they're saying $150 first year. That's what they say. Autocar Truck here in Birmingham makes the engines and are shipped to a trucking building company. Oh, an hour west of Indy. Oh, all right. All right, because they make Cummins engines in Columbus. William Thurman, we got hammered with snow in South Bend yesterday. Today and tomorrow. Yes, that's what I'm saying. For our friends at Fleet Nav Systems who are in your area as well, north of you. So, absolutely. I thought, oh, that's pretty awesome. Because I have some family that lives in Portage, and they weren't very happy either. Kelt Rooster Travels, we must be careful with the Canucks. They are crowded on the border to pounce on the USA. They're going to come down here just for our warm weather. 18-year-old drivers on Mars? Well, yeah, because at 18, you imagine, how old you really are. 18 Mars years is, I'd have to figure that out, but it's a lot more years here on Earth. So, yes. 4-cent raise starts in March. 4-cent raise? Oh, for you guys again? Holy mackerel. When does it end over there? That's pretty good. Another 4 cents for everybody across the board. But if there's no work as an hourly pay employee, then they can just tell you to not come in and you aren't making money. Weekly guarantee beats hourly that way. Juan, it does, but I'm talking road drivers. So if you're on the road, for my hourly, if you're at work, which to me is in the truck, you're paid. So that makes them find you work. So if you are home, right, they can tell you to go home, which you're still at home. So it's not like that's a downside. Money should never be more than home. I understand people have to make money, but home time is better than being at work. But if you're at work and you're sitting in a truck stop and they go, we don't have a load till tomorrow, that's their problem. They need to pay you all day. That's what I think. I'll be doing an engine load securement video on my channel by DOT regulation, JL Travels. All right, that's pretty good. Those securement ones, because there's a lot of rules on that. People should watch those if they need to secure their stuff. If companies paid hourly, they would probably make you clock out while you're sitting at the dock or something and probably not pay you overtime. Silver. Well, that's true. They wouldn't have to, but I think they should. And I don't think you should be able to clock out. You are at work. If they say you can clock out, you should be able to then leave. Fine, I'm leaving. Let me know when to be back and go wherever you want. And they would never allow that. So no way. If you're at work, you're at work. I bleed coffee and 5-hour energy. You got to get some sleep. Especially on your run, get some sleep. Go to bed and then just do not set an alarm. All right, heading out. Have a great week and stay safe. Fleet Nav Systems, thanks for being here. Get your shovel out up there and get shoveling. Yikes, I saw that in the weather. I thought that is not great. Cash King Trucking, I'd watch that trucker blood. Might have a little bit of hepatitis C in it. Well, that's all right. We can get a vaccine for that. What's your opinion on XPO? They don't pay overtime, right? I think they do not pay overtime. But the pay is good there. It's just no overtime pay from what I understand at XPO. They're home every day, or at least a lot of them are. Had to flush on my EGR cooler with carb cleaner this past weekend. It worked very well. Still no check engine light. Supernova. Where'd you get carb cleaner? Go into AutoZone and ask for carb cleaner. And watch the guy behind the counter go, what? Right. He'll say, Justin Bieber? Right. Martin Sheen has trucker blood. Yeah, that's true. Maybe it's Charlie has the trucker blood. A very nasty cold, not COVID, going through Central California. So bad like comparing Michael Jackson to buckwheat. It hangs out a long time after you get over the hump. Nice. I don't know if that's good or not, or if offensive or not. I'm not sure. Hello, Mark and everyone between Cheyenne and Laramie, Wyoming, going to Idaho. Wow, you're in the middle of no place. How's the weather in Wyoming today? Mr. Somewhere's here. I love driving in Wyoming. Almost no people. Yeah, that is pretty good. Just Kanye out there owns half the state. A Clockwork Orange, bring your codpiece. Of course, always wearing it. That's always what I wear. When you told your manager $50 an hour, I wish I could have seen his face. Joe, yeah, me too. I do that all the time. And I'll tell you, I've gotten it before. So it's extra. That's how I think about it, and not like the kids say extra. It's work beyond what I'm supposed to do. I have a 5-day run that I do. And so anything beyond that, I feel like is up for negotiation. And I know that they need people to do it or they wouldn't call me, because he knows he's going to get grief out of me about it. Or this guy might not if he's new. He's going to know from now on. And by the time they get to me, they know they got a problem. I just got offered $7,000 to work Wednesday through Saturday. Instead of 3 days home, only 1 day, then back home Saturday. Wow. Well, wow. That's more than KLLM would even pay during that time. $7,000. Well, of course, how much work do you have to do for that? I mean, how many miles will it be to make $7,000? And this is the difference between when I see companies paying $1.20 to a lease operator or whatever, which I've seen, $1.40. What kind of miles are we talking about for you to gross $7,000? Now, Josh, good afternoon, everyone. This is going to be the difference here when we see this between a regular gigantic lease company and where you put your truck on at a decent place. Got my 2,000 watt inverter installed in the truck. Step 1 of having a microwave on board has been finished. All right. Now all we got to do is install your international in a Freightliner, because I don't like internationals. So if we could do that, that would be really great too. There's a local company in Birmingham advertising $19 an hour. Oh, no overtime. 2 years experience on 60 hours. Good luck with that. So 1,100 something a week, 1,150 a week for 60 hours. All right. How is that going to work out for them? Who are they going to get? There's no way you should do that. No way anybody should do that. We should all write to them and say, no, thank you. YO Pirate. All right, I'll most likely be signing on with Prime. The reason I have my CDL from Sage Trucking School, I never heard of that place. No ghosts there, probably, because of the saging, right? I watch a lot of ghost shows with the wife. But most will not hire me without experience. Well, there's a lot of places that'll hire you without experience. You don't have to go to Prime. Okay, you certainly do not have to go to Prime. There's plenty of places that will hire you without experience. Here's one. Why don't you call this place? So go get decent training. And, something like that. They're going to give her this they're going to raise soon, right? How about let's call Dot? They might give you something. You want to do flatbeds? All right, you can go here. I mean, there's lots of places to go besides Prime. You don't have to go to this gigantic Prime place. Now I can soon start cooking on board the truck and posting it on my YouTube channel, GL Travels. All right. All right, there's a few people that cook and post those videos. So 1,900 miles round trip for $7,000. Now that's more like it. See, people that are leasing a truck for $1.20, $1.40, you don't have to do that. If you get on with a decent place and get a good percentage, you can make $7,000 on 1,900 miles. That's over $3 a mile, even for high school math. A midlife trucker, Tom Bell. Here's my tardy Wiener tag. So thank you for that. And thank you for being here at Cheeseman. Another place you're getting paid for all of your time. 34 breaks paid, which they don't advertise enough of. When are you moving? As soon as I can get a place there. And I don't like to move in the winter, so just keep looking for a place, and then the pay. The pay in the area down by you there and down south is just terrible. I have to go to Evansville. That's the problem, is commuting. I don't want to commute 60 miles each way every day. Minnesota, Ohio, and back to Minnesota. I mean, for that kind of money, that's way more than $3 a mile. That's more like it. Sunny day in western Wyoming. Cold. Well, I mean, right here, we're at 30, but, tomorrow night, 4 below. So that isn't great. As the chat disappeared here. Dang computers. That's all right. We can go on to another story until my chat shows back up here. Oh, yeah. I noticed on YouTube, this is pretty interesting. There's been a bunch of people that are posting videos about whether a company provides a drug screen or a hair follicle. And they're giving that kind of thing out like that's some kind of thing. Okay, that shouldn't be a thing. Don't ever let that be a thing to anybody. If you need to ask a question like, is there a hair follicle thing? As I try to make this thing here disappear, which I don't know how to do. So that should never be a deal to anybody. I'll get this out of here in a second. Don't ever call a company and say that either. Hey, do you guys do hair follicle testing? How does this work? All right, there it goes. That's good. Hey, do you guys do hair follicle or whatever? And there's been a number of people posting videos from different companies. Hey, I'm at this company. They do hair follicles, so watch it. And I'm here. They don't do... Look, number one, don't do a bunch of drugs. But, don't do videos about that. What is the company going to think about that? That's another thing. Think about that stuff. Does UFCD have a website, or are you just on Facebook? No, that's just a private messaging place for us. You go to ufcd.org. ufcd.org. When you're verified here at Church Transport to get hired on. Yeah, so after a year, you can go get a decent job basically anywhere. If I get paid $10.99, how much should I keep back for taxes? I don't know. I don't do $10.99. I mean, you are being illegally misclassified as a $10.99 driver, so I don't really recommend it at all, to be honest with you. I would call everyone in the industry before I went to Prime. Yeah, just start at the AAAAAA1 trucking at the yellow pages and just start calling. Just start calling everybody. Well, this is pretty interesting. Looks like another thing open. Let's get this out of here. Okay, there we go. People are like, what is he doing? My brother and I went through Sage in Denver. Good school, and the instructors are former drivers. Sam. Okay, I just never heard of it. Sage. So Sagebrush, basically. That's good that they have drivers there, but you don't have to go to Prime. Did Prime come to the school? Let's ask that. Did they bring pizza? Which happens. Okay, I make fun of it, but it happens a lot. Did they come to the school, or how did you hear about them? I forget how Mark works for. I'm not taking paid requests for people wanting to know. $150 request. I'd like to know, too. Some days. I'm like, I can't believe I work here. And not in a good way. Leonard Express is their own trucking school. They would hire you without experience, and you wouldn't have to go to Prime. There's another place to go. You should put a list of YouTube channels on the Facebook group. Yeah. I don't like to call channels out directly like that. I just have noticed that people are posting, hey, this place has hair. And I've noticed like a lot of them. They're like a bunch of them. I'm like, why? Who cares? None of that should make any difference. And so one guy's like, I was in here. He's at the truck school, and 10 people are gone because of hair follicle. They do hair follicle here. I've been in hiring process with Dot since Christmas. I'm running out of time, money, and patience. Oh, yeah. What is anybody here from Dot? What's going on? Let's get some people put on. Although some places, I will say this. Pirate, once you get to a better place, it takes longer to get hired on, and sometimes they don't need as many drivers. Some of them have a waiting list, so that's actually where you want to get hired on. A Sage Truck School has been at Freightliner shop in Yorkville going on a month now. Oh, so this is going to be like a nationwide thing? Huh. They're going to franchise themselves out, maybe? Hey, Mark After Dark from balmy Joliet, Illinois. Scott. Yeah, I thought, you know what? Why don't I just pop in live here and see what people are doing? Midlife trucker, if you have to ask what kind of drug test, yeah, don't ask the recruiter that. Oh, before I come out there, what kind of drug test? Is it 30 days, 7 days? How far back does it go? That's another good question, which some places get. Prime is premature retarded idiots making excuses in need of counseling. Jail travels. Yikes. Then we get in trouble for that. Stock markets are getting hammered right now. I saw everything is going down a little bit. I can't imagine why. Hold back at least 20% if you go 1099. Yeah, just go employee. Though, I mean, seriously, you're being misclassified. If you're driving somebody else's truck and they're dispatching you, you're an employee. You're missing out on all the benefits of an employee, like workman's comp and stuff that you don't really see. For what? Not advertising for London Express, but they have a trucking school and they start people at 50 cents a mile. Yeah, look, and that would be better. Anybody who's awake while you are driving. Prime allows the trainer to go to sleep, which I actually talked to the reporter about as well, which she couldn't even believe. And, so that kind of stuff, that's not training. That's not training at all. Double A trucking got to be a party. I'm just saying from the yellow pages, there's always AAAA1 something, to be the first one in the yellow pages. Yeah, 1099, you also have to make sure you pay Social Security payments, which would be called self-employment tax for you. You get to pay your half of it that the company pays now. Isn't that great? If you go to my What to Expect at Company Orientation video, I go over the drug test, how the results are, and what happens if you fail or refuse a drug test. All right. And do you also go over what happens if you drink a gallon of vinegar before a drug test? Does that work? That's the question that drivers need. And I will tell you, I've been asked that probably. I get asked that once every few months by somebody. Is there some way to get around a drug test? Mark, can you talk a little slower? I just ate some sleepy chicken, and it sounds like you're talking so fast. You know, I don't understand people, you TikTok people, who starts these ideas of putting chicken and soaking it in NyQuil. I just don't get it. Hello, Mark, on my way to California, then Florida back to Chicago. Wow, $2,500 gross on 5,600 miles. That's good. You already have the weeks figured out. That's even better. I like that even better than the money. Our YouTube channels like Jail Cooking and Midlife Trucker. Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. Yeah, and also, you know, that page can, you know, the private page, people can post their own stuff. Absolutely. Yeah, that's actually good. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I got to switch to night driving. I cannot cope with daytime four-wheelers anymore. That's another reason to go at night. Sage Truck School is a franchise and a good school. I recommend them. And no ghosts, because they sage the place every day. I'm good as long as the drug test doesn't go back 40 years. Yeah, I mean, some people will call and ask that, because I've talked to some of these, you know, companies and stuff, and they're like, yeah, you know, the problem, people call up and say, how long does the drug test go back? Is that your second reporter you talked to? I remember the Business Insider. Yeah, I've talked to her, Grace, at Business Insider several times. And now this reporter, absolutely, is another one. I've talked to a few over the time, but I mean, now that the Business Insider and being in there a few times has been a big deal. And so now we're getting more inquiries, and this other reporter's like, I want to talk to you too. A conjoined twins allowed to team drive. Oh my gosh, the one set of conjoined twins became a teacher, if you saw that. So I don't know how that works out. 30% holdback if you're 1099, maybe less, but I'd save some for taxes. I won't get political, but Robinhood is down 28%, and I have over 50 stocks covering everything from medical, detective, food services. Tommy Cash, nice. That's the way to do it. Thanks a lot, however that might have happened. Still, Horace, I would recommend that you call the recruiting department once a day and ask if there's anything left for you to complete. Yeah, that's a good idea too. If you've applied at a place and they're not contacting you, or you think it's taking too long, just call them up and say, hey, what else do I need to do? I'm ready to work. You need drivers. Let's get this act together here. Ask the training company if they team dispatch or solo dispatch in training. TMC and Millis solo dispatch during training. That way your trainer is awake so that they can be up to train you. It would be difficult to train you if they're not up. Like I always say, if people sent their kids to school and the teacher gave an assignment and then went to bed in another room, I think parents would be down at the school with a pitchfork. So that's a problem. But for drivers, we don't think anything about it. Kelter Rooster Trout, so I joined the Federation, got a free St. Justin Timberlake devotional candle for joining. Yeah, we get a Justin Bieber medal for your car, like we used to have in the cars. Stock market is getting hammered, probably because we're about to go to war with Russia. Thanks, Uncle Joe Charles. Maybe, but if they only do a little bit, then we'll do just a little bit. That's what he said. He's a known driver. When my company asked me about a drug test, I asked him, is it multiple choice? I like all of them. Cash is king. You go, hey, what do you got? I'll try whatever. Tell him that. Yeah, I mean, I'm open to whatever you got going on. Foolproof method on how not to get around a drug test. Don't use drugs. How to get around one. Yes. But I say every once in a while, I'll get a question like, oh, Mark, I got to go take a drug test. How do you recommend I get around that? You know, how do I pass it if I think I'm going to fail it? I'm like, you cancel the drug test and wait until you pass it and don't do drugs anymore. How about that? I'm with Nancy Reagan on that. No, I didn't go over that on how to get around a drug test, but I did go over if you try to skip clean urine and how you will get popped and go on your deck. I mean, that cannot be stressed enough, that a failure at a drug test, either pre-employment or random, and that's it. And now with the clearinghouse now, it goes on there that you have a failure or refusal. Refusal, same thing. You're done. You're done at any decent place. Free lemonade at the truck stop. TikTok. Oh, you know what? Start something. Lemonade bottles. Defined lemonade bottles. Soak chicken in truck stop lemonade. There we go. That's how we combine these. That won't. That'll make you sleepy, right? I have to stay in Indiana as far as an address when and if I move. I don't want to have to retake the test for CDL. Plus, hazmat won't transfer. Right? You'd have to redo all that stuff. And who wants to move out of Indiana? I mean, with our good roads and we're current or modern, such a modern state. Hey, new camera, you look all shiny. No, I have a light, which I got. The wife actually got me a ring light, which I haven't put up yet, and so I have another light on. There's 2 lights on, so I'm show up a little bit better. If you try to slip clean urine because you can't pass the pre-employment drug test, it goes in your DAC and follows you forever, or in how long it will take to drop off. I don't know if that ever drops off. You got years, and now with the clearinghouse, you're gonna have to go through things. I mean, forget it. That was the big reason I chose Millis for my training. I wanted a trainer, not a sleeper. Yeah, and if they're sleeping too, they're just, the company even is just using you to double the miles of the truck, not just the trainer, but the company that allows it. They're not much better. They should want you to be a good driver, not just to double the miles of their truck. George Costanza's here late to the party. Just loaded 48 feet of wind energy parts out of Albuquerque, headed to Richmond. Wow. You get the longest miles, considering you're running a flatbed. You get all these miles, crazy miles. You get a week's worth of miles that I would get in a flatbed in one load. I'm cooking cheeseburgers with eggs for lunch in the truck right now. Oh, that's fancy. Oh, anything you put an egg on fancies it right up. That's what Ramsey says. Do you smoke weed? Right, you got some? What do you got? I mean, well, you want some, you tell them? CDLs do not transfer between states. You can transfer it, but depending on the state, you might have to test. Hazmat, you usually have to test. It's different, and different states charge more. It depends on that, too. We're pretty cheap on that in Indiana. They hose you on your license plate. But the CDL here, $35, so not bad. If you're on any prescription, make sure to keep a copy to show it. Oh, always right. Always have that stuff. You should have that written down anyway. That's actually very good. Which anything that you take as a prescription, you should write it on a piece of paper, the dosage, how many times a day, and just put that paper in your wallet, in your Gucci handbag, or where your money belt, wherever you carry anything. So you always have it on you in case your company sends you for a random drug screen. You will have that with you, and you can write it right down on the thing. It says list all drugs here or whatever. List it there, and so that you have it all listed and can explain it to them. Especially if you get a call later from the drug person there and say, well, this is what I take and all that. And then you just have it with you. You don't have to try to remember it or write it all down. That's how I think that would work. Can I link an image link to the chat for people to check out what I cooked for my student and myself? If it'll link. I don't know what that is. I've seen that word, to be honest with you. Let's see if it'll link in there. They gave me a drug test, so I passed to the next guy. Here, do you take it? To make really good chicken, squeeze a lemon on top and add a lot of salt, then bake. Delicious. Celt Rooster Travels. Yeah, I don't know. KFC does all that. Steel Horse. DAC report is the least of your worries. Have you heard about the new government program recording all positive drug tests or drug test refusal? Are you talking about the clearinghouse? The government program? Cheeseman hires from Indiana. Over-the-road drivers there get 2 days off per week. Nice. I stopped testing drugs after college. Yeah, people usually grow out of it, right? 3-bunk trucks being renamed to intense training trucks. Oh, they should do that. Give it a better name. They never have advertised that I've ever seen, that 3 people go in a truck. And I made that point to her. There's 3 people living in 24 square feet, of truck for weeks at a time. I said, that's got to be somewhat unpleasant. So you can get on there in India. Nice. Where did my page go? Oh, right. I just realized my Pike Pass and iPass are both charging for the same tolls. Thought iPass didn't acknowledge Oklahoma tolls. I don't know. I think it's set up by the company, isn't it? Georgia has free licensing, including CDL for veterans. Oh, nice. That's even better. I've heard some people paying hundreds of dollars for their CDL for a few years of it or whatever. So, 35's not bad, but then they hose you in your license plate here. So, Horace, yeah, there's the clearinghouse address. When is the Indiana Toll Road going to put up toll booths that I don't have to stop at even if I've got an easy pass? You don't have to stop at the toll on 65 going back and forth into Kentucky. That's a no-stop toll right there. So I kind of thought the toll road had electronic driving, a drive-through like Illinois. Chicken hauler to skateboarder. Oh, nice name change. I think a CDL is about 68 in Alabama. That's still not too bad compared to some. At 35, I think we're good here. I take a photo of the prescription and keep it in my iPhone. All right, that's an interesting way to do it. Here's and then you can still write it down. You could pull that picture up and write down on the list what you're on. Here's all the drugs I'm on. GP Transco, hey, hello, good afternoon. It's good to see you. And you should take pictures of some extra drugs in case you pop for those. Oh, well, wait, I'm on that too. You should have pictures of like all drugs. People shouldn't do that. They don't test for LSD, just saying. Nice. Quick Trip has the best fried chicken if you can find one with truck parking. Went through training at USA Truck. They use trainees to run automotive team loads. See, that's not great, right? If the trainer's sleeping, that's just, I don't consider that good training. It worked out for you, but I think it probably makes a lot of people it doesn't work out. I just had a flashback. I need to do a video on my channel on the clearinghouse and what happens when you fail and what happens when the trucking company discovers this. What happens if you get popped? Yes. Absolutely. 3 strangers on a truck, that would be good TV. Yeah, and I told the reporter, I said, as a lady, what would you think if they assigned you to a truck with 2 men? And that you don't know even. That's not going to be great, and it's not going to be, a lot of women are just not going to want to do that, and I agree with them. But they say, look, if you want to wait for a woman trainer, you're going to have to wait for months. And I go, it's a real problem. Any new teal Freightliners out there, GP Transco, are still doing Volvos? Yeah, what's the new teal truck situation going on over there? And don't you have a truck driver? Isn't Trucker Hershey one of your drivers at GP Transco? Because he's having some issues. So I think he works for you. I think. Maybe not. I can't imagine taking LSD under a load. Yeah. Yikes. All right. There it is. It did post. Any new teal Freightliners, GP Transco? Okay, it worked. Check out the New York Strip. Oh, nice. Boy, people making all this money. Not KLLM money, but money nonetheless. Did you see the U.S. Express driver that had a pet pig? No. Would that be allowed at GP Transco? For my student and myself. Pretty good. Most trainers say, hey, tough. Get out and go feed yourself. I don't know if there's such a thing as a follicle test. When I recently took a hair test, I had to shave the entire side of my face to get enough hair to fill a tube about the size of a little fin. They say, and this is what they say, if they do a hair test and they can't get any hair on your head, they will take it from wherever they can get it. And that is a quote. And remember, you can't refuse it. So wherever else there might be hair, they would go get it. Did you order Biden PCR COVID test? I did not, and I have no plans to do so. So we have 120 new trucks coming this year. That's nice. Most will be Cascadias, but a handful internationals. Ugh. Fortunately, no Volvos. Yikes. I'll take a Freightliner over that. Yeah, see, people love that New York State. If you like various trucks, check out this channel. Peace Bridge Authority. Still holding out until GP Transco gets the teal Freightliner with digital dash and driver lounge. Well, they have the dash in some of them. They do have that. We have a couple women trainers that don't have a new hire with them right now. Oh, perfect. That'd be the place to go then. Because can you imagine, they go, here's your 2 roommates for the next 3 weeks. Frickin' frack over here. I mean, how often do you have women trainers that don't have students? I just assume that women that are training would be very busy. Because I get letters from people that have to wait months, at unnamed companies like Prime, who I won't name, to wait for somebody. I don't think any type of hallucinated drug shows up in a drug test. I'm not taking my chances. Is GP Transco going to support the Federation? Indiana and Ohio on I-80 both make you stop for tolling. No rolling tolling. I thought we're all modern here. So the only toll then is the one on I-65. Going into Kentucky, I know because I have to pay that going to the truck show, which, remember, tickets are available for the Mid-American Truck Show. You don't stop, there's no toll booth. We do have Freightliner Cascadias with the dash. About 130 came in. I know, it's so fancy. Yeah, obviously, I've never spoken to CR England. They do a drug follicle test to see if you have ever done drugs. And they'll take hair from wherever they can get it. So consider the rest of your body and where there may be a hair that they could get to. I'll let you picture that. My student is spoiled. If you come to Melton and have to go out with a trainer, you can always request me. Yeah, you're cooking steaks up for your student? Yikes. Do you take that out of their check or something? Hey, it's $14.50 for that. I'll apply to GP Transco once every year of experience. Do they take team drivers? I think they do have teams, as a matter of fact, because some teams have channels out here. So, yeah. I don't know if they'll team you, though. Do they have a jacuzzi on the truck? Well, that'd be interesting. The new Volvos, I think, have a jacuzzi option, so. Travis, thank you for making me a moderator. I just noticed that you were not a moderator, so I appreciate that. Hey, Mark, a lot of people don't know what we're trying to do. What do you think, word of mouth or something else? Truckers need to stick together. Absolutely, and thank you, Roy, for that. Absolutely, I mean, that's the whole idea. And I wanted to put this out there. It seemed, I don't know, I'd asked the wife, she goes, yeah, talk about it. So this was in, and I'm going to talk about this on other channels too and on the podcast probably, so you may hear it a couple times. There's an article this weekend about a woman who went to the store and to Target. I don't know if you saw this, and I thought this was pretty interesting, and this relates back to us, so just hang on. She bought a box of tampons there, and when she got home, she opened it up, and they were not in there, okay, even though it was a sealed box. And so she complained to Target. She went back to Target and said, hey, give me my money back because I didn't get what I wanted, or exchange me. They wouldn't do it. Presumably they thought she stole them, okay, but she didn't. And here's the thing. Here's how this relates to us. She didn't stop there. That's what this would have ended 30 years ago. She did a video about it, and it got 800,000 views. Now imagine this. How many people do you think wrote to Target about that? Thousands of people wrote to Target. She got an apology from one of the huge higher-ups at Target. Tampax sent her a year of tampons, and she got her money back from Target. And what I'm saying, how that relates to us, we should throw tampons at Sierra England. That's number one thing. But number two is you can shame companies into doing the right thing by coming together and putting them on blast. They don't realize the power of the internet. She got Target. Who is she? She'd probably say, I'm nobody. She got Target to somebody at the corporate office to apologize to her and get all this attention. They would have been much better off giving her the $10 to start with. And that's the power of the internet. And that's the power of sticking together. Totally agree. Cash King Trucking, don't forget to tip your house. Goodness, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's Mr. Plows here. He says, right, you are, which I appreciate. Believe me. Thank you. Always appreciated. Let's see. The Freightliner driver's lounge is fantastic. I'll probably have to buy one eventually. It sounds fun. You know, I like the lit floor. I like that part of it because I feel like I'm Travolta when I have the driver's lounge in the truck. So those are pretty good. New driver prospects should call your local Teamsters and inquire about truck driver training or companies in the jurisdiction. That's true. And somebody, I think last week said, well, you know, you're better off joining, or maybe it was on the video. You're better off joining the Teamsters than doing this. Well, I checked. You have to be a member at a company that is a Teamster represented company. I can't just go join the Teamsters. So you'd have to organize your company, which could work, but that's not something people can just go do. So, and the whole industry needs to change. Each company has a different problem. We can do that by sticking together and blasting them. I wanted a hair test after my weight loss surgery because I couldn't drink a lot of water. They said no. So hours of waiting to pee, really. Some companies don't do it, right? And they still have to do the urine one for the DOT. And once you're there, you have to sit there. That's always the time they call for a random, right? Can you go over and take a random just as you're coming out of the can? You're like, not for a while. That's probably why they have a vending machine. At least over here in the drug testing place, there's a vending machine for soda and stuff in it. Not tooting Mountain Horn. George said, a Sierra England driver pulled in next to us at the Loves. He was going inside to heat up a beanie weenie. I invited him to join us. That's good. And that's appreciated. And you know, while you're there, you could just talk to him about Mountain. Going inside to heat up some beanie weenies. That's sad. Unless he, you know, the other thing, maybe he likes them too. So my wife is always like, why are you eating Spam? I'm like, I like Spam. The only drug that shows up after 3 or 4 days is marijuana. All the rest will flush out of your system. Roger Bensky, maybe. Here's the thing. Don't take drugs. That's what I would say. We don't have free televisions in our trucks, but we install them for free. We do TV giveaways here sometimes. Yes. Joan Harper loves being a moderator, and I love that having everybody as a moderator. Believe me, it keeps the channel way better. I can't, I don't ever say this enough, or hardly ever, but, to everyone that is moderating, thank you for booting out the riffraff. Believe me. Meals are paid for in training here. That's right. That is true, right? I did see that. Truckers stick together. We are family, and we can change, just like Sister Sledge said, right? We can change everything. You have to tip those. I need my, where did my thing go? Oh, I need my student. That's what she said. I need my student I feed my student for free as long as they're willing to eat what I eat. Well, yeah, kind of like growing up, right? If they don't like steak or pot roast, they can make their own food. Well, that's what my mom said too. She'd make dinner like, oh, I don't like that. She's like, well, too bad. This is supper or see you for breakfast. So that's how it went at my house. Can you imagine Austin Powers training women drivers? Oh, yes. There is some of that going on already. And that's part of the problem, right? Because of the anonymity, and you're gone, and it's kind of he said, she said, and it's sad. It's really sad. It's hard to vet that out there, really. Are Perk and Picard still in the Federation? Of course. Always. Honorary members. It's pretty sad that one should have to shame a company for them to do the right thing. It is sad, but that's sometimes what you have to do. And I thought that companies just had like a satisfaction guarantee. Like if you don't like something, you can just take it back. So I don't even know what the problem is, but except they're like, oh no, you're stealing stuff. No, just give the lady her money back or exchange her just like a normal person. It's not like she's bringing $7,000 of stuff back. She's making money on $10 thing here. Come on. It's pretty, let's see, with social media and people coming together, you can puppet companies and corporations to do what is right for employees. Yes. Well, and that is correct. That's what I'm trying to do. And I think as we come together, and now we can get in the news, we can get press releases out, which I'm going to start sending out. We can get in the news. We can get reporters to talk to us. And then they have to answer. Boss just ordered a 2023 Peterbilt 567. Oh, 13 speed? Do you get to pick that stuff? Tell me you got to pick a 13 speed on it. Oh, I wish companies would do that. Say maybe after you've been there 10 years, they let you choose that kind of component in a truck. I would love that. Oh, goodness. Air Gunner Bob, thank you. Next month will be 1 year as an owner-operator. All right. That went by fast, didn't it? Thanks for always fighting for company drivers. I'll be joining the Federation soon. Well, I appreciate that. And, owner-operators are welcome, too. A lot of owner-operators are taken advantage of as well at companies. So there's still a lot of that, too. There's a lot more, probably, for company drivers. Just because there's more they're supposed to do for a company driver. So, and that's pretty good, a year. That's awesome. Will Freightliner ever update the fridge door so it doesn't pop open every 2 to 3 miles, immediately spilling its contents to the floor so you can't reach behind you and slam it shut? Over the years, I've had a couple trucks with a fridge. I had a T2000 that had a fridge in it. Remember those trucks? I had to tape the door shut on that. I would just tape it shut because every time you turn the door, it'd open up. And then all your sodas and stuff are flying all over the place. So you just tape the door shut. The stupidest thing. Should be like a latch, like an RV. Why isn't it like that? In an RV, all the cabinets and the doors, they all latch shut. Why doesn't it latch in there? Another thing that trucks are way behind on, considering how much they cost. My deal with my students is simple. I'll pay for the food and cook all the food. They're responsible for the dishes. I think that's a fair deal. You do the dishes. I'll cook the food. Yeah, look, if you're feeding me, I'll do the dishes. Joe, nice. And, I don't know what to say about that. Can I post a link to picture my junk? My yard sale items. Yeah, whatever posts. Yeah, sure. Post pictures of your junk here. My donuts are starting to wear off. I need to grab lunch. Be safe, Charles. All right. Well, thank you for being here. Throw tampons in England. They deserve having a few thrown at the building. I will say that. Mark, when you go for a drug test, DOT gives you a 90-minute time frame to get a sample to be tested. The way I understood it, or at least the way they do it here, is that you have to sit there until the test. I didn't realize there was a time limit. I mean, what if you just went to the bathroom and then you have to go to the drug testing thing and 90 minutes expire? What do they do with you? Is that considered a refusal legally? I mean, I've never had to wait there 90 minutes, so I'm not sure about that. Yeah, it keeps the riffraff out. We want to keep the riffraff out. You've seen some of the channels that on trucking and in others, it's just a disaster of riffraff in there, and that isn't any good. That's no good for the channel. It's just bad. That everybody keeps the riffraff out here is great. Brian Brock, who do you drive for? And can you start over? Yes, thank you very much for that. I don't ever mention who I drive for. It keeps them out of videos, but I also don't recruit for them. A lot of people do recruit for their good companies, which is okay, but I'm just not doing it. I'm going to let them get their own drivers. So that's how we do it here, but I do appreciate that. Is there a company that offers refresher courses? Yes. They change around. Some offer them sometimes, some others. You could search for that and find that pretty easily. Some will give you like a quick refresher course or whatever. Absolutely. But it varies. So like, okay, we stopped that program and now another place is doing it. So I'd like to drug test dispatchers. I think everybody in the company should drug test if you have to drug test. Is there a company that offers refresher? Yeah, and women get the run to the deal most of the time. That is true. That's very true. That's why there's not many of them driving. It's got to be very tough to get through and finally become a driver. We only have one woman driver at the moment, although she's been a driver for a long time. 20 years, I'm going to say. We're experienced people blocking the Catskills. Why are experienced drivers blocking the Catskills to go inside the truck stop? This wasn't happening because nobody thinks about anything but themselves. I'm just going to pull up and go inside, and nobody thinks at all. Go park. Do not park in front of the Catskill. Everybody else has work to do too, not just you. So there's other people that also need to work. It's so frustrating. George Costanza, tip the host of the Federation. I appreciate that. As long as you don't get assigned a red shirt, trucking answers is boldly going where no truck has gone before. Oh, nice. I wonder if I could use that. See that? I'll get in trouble for that, for using that. So, it's very good. Thank you very much. Absolutely. Fred Zeppelin, I use Velcro. Oh, right. You can set it up where it holds the fridge shut. Well, I just taped it. I mean, I don't know. That T2000, it just would fly open all the time. And I was just like, I'm just taping this thing shut with duct tape. Then they hadn't invented a Gorilla Tape, which is what I've switched off to. Silver, I used my blood money to join the Federation literally by plasma debit card. Wow. Now accepting your plasma debit card. I'll be looking for land over by Jasper area. Oh, well, come on over. That's where we're looking around, in the Jasper Huntingburg area right there. The problem is, there's only a couple of trucking companies there and they don't pay anything. So you got to commute to basically Evansville. 13 speed? Try an 18 speed. Oh, I would pick an 18 speed over 13. I would take a 13 speed for the road. I don't think the lower splits do any good. It's just too much shifting for a regular weighted load. That's what I found especially now. Maybe years ago when, we're rocking 330 Cummins or whatever, but now with the higher horsepower, I'll take a 13 speed. Or my dual torque Cummins, which I love, 330, 410, right. Use baby locks for your truck fridge. Oh, I never actually thought about that. Not having a baby. So that actually never came to mind. I'm like, oh, I have a roll of tape. I'll just tape it. And then every time I pull the tape, it's annoying. You turn a corner. I'm taking a ramp at 40 over the limit there, and the thing flies open. Sodas are flying all over the place, popping open, getting sprayed with soda. I mean, what a mess. Then I got to set the cruise control and go back there and put him back in and shut the door. It's annoying. Did you see the monovision news for drivers? I saw something about the vision, but I didn't understand exactly what they were talking about. I figured drivers that had this problem will be looking into it, and there can't be that many. But I saw you can have one eye or almost no vision in the other eye and still drive. I mean, if you can drive a car, why not? Right, I'm in for that. You can go to Wally World and buy a short strap that will keep the refrigerator doorstop. Only have one. My door can't fly open. All right. I mean, that seems more complicated. I'm just saying I had tape, so I just taped it. Oh, bungee cords? That's a good idea, too. Chris, right? Chris, we could do that, right? Right, there's this cat. If I can get, there it goes. Oh, how about Sheldon? How about that? Sheldon could use a door stop right there, but that's not the kind of door stop I think we're talking about. Sheldon the cat. If you cannot give a sample for a drug test within the required time, that's the same thing as a refusal and goes on your record. Oh, all right. I wonder if they enforce that here. I don't know if anybody's had that problem. I didn't know there was a 90-minute time limit. They always just say, all right, well, sit down and wait. I didn't realize there was an actual limit. We had a driver at Tyson get a refusal for not being able to go. He almost lost his license, but had the doctor give him something saying he couldn't go very often due to medication. Oh, that's it. Yeah. So if you have a medical thing, see, why don't they just let you sit there until you have to go? Boy, I bet most drivers would like that too. That medicine. What if you take medicine and not have to stop all day? New six-figure trucker up. Six-figure trucker, 11 months into the year. Nice. 1 month ago, already hit 100. But still, not quite KLLM money. First year, 150. Still waiting to hear from that driver. By the way, don't necessarily believe that's possible. I put one of those baby locks on my fridge and works great. I never thought about it. I guess not having a baby, never really considered it. That's a good idea, though. I drink some tea, works like a charm. Yeah, I think that's probably why they have the vending machine right there to grab. I'm like, oh, I'll just take, let me get can somebody give me $12 a change? Because it's one of those old machines that only takes quarters or only takes coins. Here's some FMCSA Q&A on drug testing. All right, there's a link for that. I got yelled at my first week when I parked in front of a scale. By who? I mean, what should come out is the trucking place should come out and yell at you, the truck stop, and say, what are we doing? Get the heck out of here. But, it just takes somebody to tell you, hey, we don't park here, during training. We actually go park like a normal person. What's your favorite truck of all time? And a favorite truck? I'm always a Western Star fan. Love them. Had one many years ago on the road, a road truck. Super quiet, solid. You shut the door, didn't sound all flimsy like trucks today. Just a solid truck, quiet. It felt like you were actually driving something substantial that was going to last you. And everything in there was a little bit nicer touch, soft items. It wasn't cheap, not a cheap truck, Where Freightliners, a lot of them, they can be made nice. But a lot of them are fleet, cheap plastic, hard plastic, like, oh, a nice base Chevy Spark, nice, So I always thought Western Star, because that's the thing. Quiet on the road is a major deal to me. You don't want that droning and all that loud noise all the time. That's why I like driving a sleeper on my run. It's so much quieter than running a day cab around. 6 more live users and I have to buy another round of Wieners for the host. Appreciate it. You can't have too many, by the way. I stopped drinking soda and coffee at Love's. Been drinking the black tea. I actually got some tea this week. 3 bags for a large cup is perfect. And wow. Of course, it's probably bigger than a teacup. And better than coffee or soda, I'm loving the lemon ginger tea. Love's is the best. Nice. I got Earl Grey tea this week, of course. And so I have some of that tea, which I'll drink some of that sometimes. Especially tomorrow. I'll probably have some tomorrow. It'll be so cold. It's an automatic 567. All right. Got to pick the color. Green. I'll take that. Look, even that is something. Legendary green, too. You should send, when you get that truck in, I'd love to see that. We'll add it to the website. There's a page of pictures of trucks. So absolutely. That'll be super nice. And look, companies to just let a driver change the color and that's their truck. I'm not saying for somebody that started last week, but if they've been there a little bit of time, that driver's really going to take care of that truck. That's going to save the company because that driver's going to take care of the truck because it's their truck. I'll try the black tea. Sounds like a nice change from coffee. Yeah. Brew some tea up. Makes you feel all fancy. Got to get your finger out there. You have another cat? I do not. Gracie does not like other cats. So will not be getting another cat. She's like, no way. All right, GP Transco heading out. Thank you for being here today. Probably back up to shovel up there too. So that's got to be, they have a big lot. So a lot of shoveling to get done up there. Get that automatic fence to open up. So thanks for being here today. Do the DOT boys get a drug test? Probably as employees like that. Probably. I'll say, because they're government employees, they probably do. DOT enforced that refusal rule nationwide. Okay. I guess I've just never sat there that long. I didn't realize there was a time. I thought you could just sit there as long as you stayed there until whenever. So, all right. 90 minutes it is. The spiced black tea has a high caffeine content. It's really good. Okay. Is it better than my Earl Grey tea? Just because, the connection. Now, monovision is where LASIK is used to correct one eye for distance and one for reading. With both eyes open, you see fine. But the requirements always made you pass distance with both one at a time. Oh, all right. That's pretty interesting. Why would you get one eye done for distance and one eye for reading? So you don't need either reading or distance glasses? That seems unusual. I would never get LASIK, personally, just because I don't want them laser beaming my eyes. Do you know carrots were not originally orange? They were actually purple or white. They have different colored carrots. Rainbow carrots. You can get them in different colors. Maybe that's why. The testing station for a urine test should have plenty of water on hand. Slug at least a pint of water and you'll be able to pee within 90 minutes, a sufficient amount for the test. Yeah, always, once they call you, because usually it's while you're at home here. So you'll go chug some water and head on over there. They make you drive over there right away. So, yeah, absolutely. You should. But I always see the thing there. There's a vending machine there. And always when I see somebody sitting there, chugging sodas, I thought, oh, okay, this person just got called in for a drug screen. And they may be from a road company and had to come over there or something. How was the T2000 Cash King truck? I liked it. I liked the low headlights. I thought it gave better light. And I liked the truck. Quiet, wide, a lot of windows on it, glass. So, yeah. And it had a fridge. It was set up pretty nice inside. It was like upgraded inside with the VIT or whatever they call it interior. So it had extra gauges and stuff. It was pretty nice. And the fridge was super nice. APU on it. Nice. I'd take one right now. I don't think they still make them, though. Have you ever had a white asparagus? I tried it for the first time in Germany. It's still my favorite veggie. No. Any color asparagus? No. Gotta go. Those not great. Midlife trucker, second round of wieners. I appreciate it. Thank you. You're very kind. Thank you very much. Even though I say that about asparagus, I do appreciate that. Some really large lady yelled at me. I was in shock. Where's she yelling at you? And the large is all relative. Joe's giving cooking lessons. Yeah. Asparagus in general is the best veggie, but it's not good for peeing in a bottle in the truck. For obvious reasons. Why? Because asparagus don't fit in the bottle? Speaking of droning, hey, Mark. Well, thank you. Earl Grey is good. It has bergamot in it. All right. Whoever he is. At Cheeseman, you can have a truck in any color you want as long as you want gray. At least they're not white. They do have different colors than the average truck, right? Because here's one right here in the background. And they all match each other, I suppose. But, fleets, they just get basic white trucks. I don't know. They just seem too fleety to me. And my trucks are all white, almost all white here. And I don't know, they're just a basic fleet truck. It's always nice to have a truck that's a different color than most of the trucks on the road. Are parsnips really just a fancy word for white carrot? Oh, I don't know. That's way too fancy for me. Parsnip? I have no idea what that is. Earl Grey, remember to drink it with your pink extended. Oh, I do. I make it so. That's actually why I buy it, so. Buy a truck fridge. If they're a little pricey. The last one I had lasted 10 years, and they had a latch and a light. Yeah, just the ones that come from there fall apart. For a while on the road, I would get a cooler, which I bungeed to the passenger seat, that plugged in the cigarette lighter. Those don't last long, though. A year, 15 months, and you'd have to buy another one. Still good, though. As long as you remember to unplug it when you're not there. That would keep stuff cold, and you had it right there next to you, and I would just bungee around the passenger seat because nobody was ever with me. So, absolutely, that's another way to do it. They're pretty big, hold a lot of stuff. Exactly, so you do not need glasses for reading or distance. All right, so that's pretty good. One down. I use glasses to drive, so it's on my license. So, absolutely, I just won't do LASIK. Won't do it. No laser beams. Getting on at UPS as a package car driver makes some good money while waiting for a spot in their own tractor-trailer training. Is that a possibility? But do you have to use your own car? Try agave as a sweetener. Has lower glycemic index than sugar. Whoa, fancy. That sounds super fancy. Don't they make aloe vera out of that? Eat pickled beets before the pee test. Ugh. Who wants to eat a beet, ever? I'd rather fail the pee test. What's your favorite truck that's out now? I'll still take a Western Star. I haven't been in one in years. I'm going to assume it's still great. I found that with the DEF emission stuff, I've had the best luck with the Detroit. Yeah, the Detroits, we have mostly Detroits, and that's what I have. I don't know if it's regenerated. I haven't had to regenerate it in months, with a standing regeneration. Those Cummins that we had, those were terrible. You had to regen those all the time. And still, we have a couple of Cummins, and people gripe about it constantly. They're regenning every week. I don't ever think I've had to regen this truck. And, I've had this truck now for close to a year on and off. And I haven't really had any problems with it for regen. Asparagus makes your urine have a foul odor. It's a common side effect. If you eat beets, the next day you might be alarmed after the morning. All right, number 2. Well, geez, that sounds like a great thing. So a pee bad and it smells bad. Wow. 389s might be going away after 2023. Then what are they going to have? 399s? Right? Heavy's relative will ask her feet. I'm just wondering why she's yelling at people. I have an Alpic Cool. It's refrigerator freezer, only 45 watts. Oh, all right. But do you have an APU on the truck too or not? Western Star fridges are the biggest factory given in commercial trucks. They got like a home-sized fridge. You can replace the fan on the Coleman coolers for $5 and get another couple years out of them. Cash is king. Oh. I would hike them in a dumpster and buy another one. So, are you saying that was not a good plan? I remember one time I left. I came home, and I was home for 4 or 5 days for some reason, and the thing died out on me, and it just sat in the truck, I guess, and everything that was in there did not smell great. So I duct taped it and threw it in a dumpster. Yeah, I didn't know those could be replaced. I would just buy another cooler because it would go out from being used all the time. It'd be funny if Beats gave you purple pea for a drug test. The Prince would approve. Oh, right. Rip Prince, too. I will be sure to send pics of it. I'd love to see it. Just picked up a trailer with a flat tire. Welcome to my life. Welcome to my constant life of, picking that stuff up because of drivers. The drop and hook seems like a great idea, but drivers just don't care. And the company doesn't enforce it. So that is my life 100%. Earl Grey tea, make it just so. That is kind of why I get it. It's good. And I'm like, you know what? There's got to be a connection here. So I'll get some of that. And I thought, it's going to be cold this week. Let me pick up a pack of that stuff. And it's only a couple $2 for a whole box of it. So someone broke down in front of the scale. I was on the scale, so I ran in really quick. My scale ticket, when I came back, all was clear. When I mean large, I mean the size of an 18-wheeler. Wow. When I pulled up to the guard check, now this has been a while, I used to shut my engine off there to get the guard, and you got to sign in or whatever, wherever you go in there. And one time it didn't start. And I'm like, well, that isn't good. And it's a single lane entry into the place. And it took them, 20 minutes before I even got somebody. And I finally told the guard, I go, look, have a spotter come over here. Well, they can't do that. I go, well, then I might be here for 2 hours. You're going to have a line 800 trucks long. So they did finally get a spotter over. We dropped the trailer, and they pulled me out from underneath it, and then the spotter took my trailer in there and got me out of the way. And ever since then, I leave the truck running at the guard shack. I just thought I was being nice by turning off the truck, but it turns out I was an idiot because the truck just wouldn't. It was dead. Something wrong with the ignition. The guy comes out in like 2 minutes, fixes it. I had to take some kind of ignition thing apart. What's up, Mark? Checking in from Atlanta. Publix. All right, making all kinds of money, pulling their freight. That's great. 561. This is the time to do it. All right? Go get that high rate where you can get them. When we go back to 80 cents, people would be happy they did as much work as they could right now. Apple juice or cranberry juice makes me go pee, right? Okay. That's nice. Apple juice. I'll take apple over cranberry. EPU, great for no idle heat in air. Okay, right. No idle heat. EPU. And then also a bunk heater, I presume, which I sit there. When I'm waiting, I got that thing cranked 80. I cranked it to 80 the other day. I was starting to sweat in there. For people that think bunk heaters do not keep the truck warm, they keep the truck warm. To give you a drug test for the FMCSA, you have to pass a written exam. You must pass the exam as you're required to give a drug test ordered by the FMCSA. FMCSA, if it is a random test or pre-employment. All right, pass a written exam for that. I wonder how many of them do that. N14 is the best engine Cummins ever made. Yeah, and an N14 Plus red top years ago, probably the best engine ever. No issues with it. Ran that for years. Just ran great. It was set at 435, which was a lot then. This would have been a long time ago. And the engine was black when Cummins was black, but the top of it was red. The top inch of it, red. N14 Plus red top. Nice. Loved it. Wish I could still have it. Vitamin B will make your pee as yellow as a safety vest. Can you use it for safety purposes? By continually spraying a shower of pee around yourself if you do not have a vest? That's my question. Why does it hurt when I pee? That is you can get that answered at the manhole. Ask one of the doctors there. I had that happen too. They had a mobile mechanic come out and replace the starter. See, but I learned though, because I'm only there a minute anyway. I don't know why I was doing it. All you have to do is sign in your truck number and that and go in. But it just wouldn't start. And it was just a little ignition thing, but it turned out to be a big disaster. There were probably 20 trucks waiting by the time they got me out of the way. I guess they figured, look, we better chain this guy, just pull him out and take the trailer ourselves, or we're going to be here a long time. It's one lane in and out, and I was stuck there. I do not turn the truck off since then until I get in there and park. Then when I'm parked, it won't only run for 5 minutes. So Peterbilt Legendary Black Cherry is a fabulous color, or Legendary Black. Those, look, anything that's not white is great, but if you get to pick the color, like the green or whatever that driver picked, that is great. That is going to be your truck, and especially if there are no other trucks in the fleet that are that color. That would be even better. XPO 55 an hour before overtime. That's better than I thought. I thought they didn't pay overtime at all. So that's better than I thought, but they should still pay overtime. That's still better than some. Depends what the hourly pay is. I mean, just got back from Pittsburgh, New York, 12 below zero. Whoo, Plattsburgh. Leave the truck running. I recommend, with 0, maybe 10 to 0 right in there, I would leave the truck running. Now, I can't do that, but I think companies should let you do it. No matter how cold it was, no matter how cold it is here, the truck will not run. It'll turn itself off. Brilliant on a sleeper. Doggy Bike Mark was that guy. I was. I didn't mean to do it, though. I wasn't just sitting there. Turn the key, nothing. I'm like, oh, this is not going to be great at all. If you ever have a UTI, midlife trucker, and take Azo, your urine will be bright orange. I about had a heart attack. Wow. Bright orange. That's something you're going to look up on the MedWeb, right? WebMD. If you cut off the plug and run 12 volts off the battery, the coolers last. Oh, I never thought about doing that. And they wouldn't like that anyways. They'd gripe. Most places will gripe at you if you wire stuff in anymore. That's always been that, because I have a mobile ham radio. They won't let me wire it into the truck. I'm like, I need to wire it in. They're like, no. So none of that stuff. And I didn't know you could replace this motor for $5. Where do you get the motors from? Do they sell them at the truck stop where you buy the cooler? Could I just walked in there and got it? Where would I get this $5 motor for it? I mean, I don't have one now. I'm just curious in case anybody asks me. I had no idea. Why does it hurt when? Yeah, why does it hurt in any of those times? With a screwdriver and $5, I would have so been into that. That would have been great. Some people have complained at the Loves that there are cameras in the bathrooms, by the way. So apparently in some of the Loves, if you look over the door, there's something that points at the door. I wanted to put this out there as like a PSA. That is not a camera. They're not filming you going in and out of the bathroom. That is a counter that goes to a service that they're using to count how many people go in, and it helps them know when to clean the bathrooms. So if you look in the door as you walk in the entrance door to the bathroom, to the left, there's usually, it kind of does look like a camera. They should actually put a sign under it to say what it is. It's just a counter. It counts the door openings. It breaks the beam. Then they know how busy the bathroom is. So they are not filming you going in and out of the Love's bathroom. Alex M. Hello, Mark. Happy Wiener Monday. Hey, greetings from West Jefferson, Ohio. Getting loaded and heading to warm Smithfield, North Carolina. 50 degrees. That'll be better than here, although a few days ago that wasn't the case. You can get them at a truck stop. All right. So you just buy them in the cooler engine aisle? Where are Canadian companies buying up American companies? Because they're a good buy, I guess. Flat tire lights that are out of mud flaps tore, missing air leaks, holes in roofs, landing gear, out of time. Oh, yeah, exactly. Any kind of this drop and hook thing, these are all the problems. Because, look, people just drop it and leave. They don't even go back there and look at anything. So then the next person comes in, and I got all these problems with it. Yeah, I totally hear you on that. The outside temperature below 25, the truck stays on. Oh, for you? Yeah, I'd go to 10. I think it should run just so it'll run, but they won't let you run it here at all. So no idling the truck. Too bad. Turn it off, because it'll just shut itself off. And what happens on a lot of times on Mondays when drivers go in, especially if it's been super cold over the weekend, is the shop, they'll actually have a truck there waiting, and then you can go talk to them if your truck won't start. I'm like, oh, that's just brilliant. So, and then you can go, and they put one of those torpedo heaters, which is what I call it, on the truck to warm it up so you can get your truck started. Isn't that great? Brilliant. Just a brilliant idea. And yeah, we have plugs, but you can't get to them because drivers pull up with a trailer. You're supposed to drop your trailer if you want to pull up to a plug so that there's room, but drivers are lazy and it's cold out. So they'll pull up and block 4 plugs with the trailer when they could just pull a tractor up there. So a couple of trucks pulled up like that and you can't get a plug. So brilliant. And since the company doesn't enforce it, I don't care. I'd move it, but I don't care because they should enforce that. That's how I see it. So when you tell them and they go, oh yeah, drivers are doing that, ha ha, laugh, and then we all get a good laugh out of it, then I guess when I come in, I go, well, truck won't start, so I guess I'll just get paid while you guys figure it out. So because they don't care. I can't care more about it than the company cares. It's their truck. And I know that seems like I'm not a team player or whatever, but it's just very aggravating. Are you talking about the fan for the Coleman cooler? I got those and a pack of stick for real cheap on Amazon. Yeah, that Creature 937. Apparently you could change the fan motor thing in there. I used to just throw them out in the dumpster every year and get another one because it would stop running. I didn't know you could just fix it. Cummins Formula 400 was a good motor. Had to watch the would heat up. Wow, Formula 400. Is that around the big cam time? How about that? Wilson will as well. Walmart also has them. Oh, really? Peridium is the reason that your urine is orange. Peridium. Peridium. I think you can get rid of that. It's generally prescribed along with all these other drugs since it helps voiding and reducing pain. Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you could get rid of that. Duncan and Sons. I don't know what that is. In Phoenix, after 5 years, you can pick any color the Freightliner has available. See, that's nice. I'd get one that nobody else has there that still looks good, and then that's your truck. And yeah, that's a good way to keep a driver. Just that kind of thing. I wouldn't go work there because of that, but that's a good way because that driver's going to take care of that truck. I can't drink apple juice after being dehydrated after 3 weeks over the road. PTSD from the color. Oh, yeah, you walk around the back of the truck stop enough and you don't want to have that anymore. I got the motor from eBay. The fan, 2 wires and 8 screws. Cash is King Trucking. Oh, see, I had no idea. I actually thought you just bought another one. I probably wasted several $100s on these things. 30 to 60 degrees, the truck doesn't idle, but I have a bunk heater. Oh, they're great, aren't they? At 30, the bunk heater's great. They keep the truck plenty warm. I know a couple of people have written to me and they talk to me, oh, that bunk heater will never keep you warm. It'll keep you warm. It'll keep you warm. I had it set on 80 the other night just waiting for a trailer. Super warm in the truck. For those drivers that moonlight at the Pink Pussycat, Freightliner can come in pink. Oh, get a pink one. Yeah, I mean, on the website, they have a lot of different colors. So that would be nice to get one of a different color that's not white. Why Does It Hurt When I Pee is a 1979 song by Frank Zappa. That I believe. I believe you would do that. So is the shorthand for Peridium. Okay, I didn't know that either. Not up on my PDR, my physician's desk reference, I guess. So what you're telling me is that all this time I pointed to my friend to the camera, nobody was seeing. It stinks. Apparently. Oh, right, yeah. The Love's bathroom, usually clean. Well, a number of people have posted this picture of this camera thing and saying Love's is recording us. And the Love's put out a big deal about it. And I wanted to tell people they're not recording anybody in the bathroom. Okay, that would be a big PR problem. It's just to count the people coming and going so they can clean the bathroom. So if there's anybody there to work, normally I go, after Meijer, I normally go to Burger King and get the wife breakfast on Sunday mornings. And so I was slip sliding in the snow yesterday, went over to Burger King, they're closed. How about that? Sign on the door, will open at lunch, no employees. How about that? So can't go to Burger King. I use my bunk heater down to 0. Below 0, I idle. Cash King Trucking. Yeah, I'm just saying you idle at that cold, not even necessarily for heat, but because I think it's just really cold for the truck. But like it's 0, right? Are you with me? It keeps the truck plenty warm on a bunk heater with the truck off. No problem. Photon or plasma torpedoes? Depends. Depends on the target and on the combo, right? Depends what I'm mixing with it, right? Usually I don't run plasmas on there, depending on the ship, but usually because of the combo, for me, it would just depend on where I'm getting a bonus. Cheeseman's Internationals have auto start, keeps the battery charged and warm. That'd be a good idea. And so you're with me too. Bunk heater keeps you plenty warm, even at cold weather. People don't have to worry about it. Number of people were afraid of it. Listen to Billy Gibbons do 16 tons by Tennessee Ernie Ford. Check it out, Billy Gibbons. He's the guy with the beard in there. I've been driving for 6 years with larger carriers. Finally went with a small carrier out of Circleville. Murphco Logistics. Hey, Murph. Hands down the best job in trucking I've ever had, $100,000 a year. Yeah, see, it is possible to do 100. Now imagine if you went to KLLM and got 50,000 more. Okay, don't do that because I have yet to hear from somebody. Yeah, I go to a little bit smaller place. You don't have to go to a place with 10,000 trucks. But either way, it's all about getting a job that you like, that fits what you want to do with your life. Do they do the things you want? Maybe that works for a bigger carrier, and maybe not. Parsnips grow on the ground like a carrot. Yes. Ground vegetable. Big Cam would run rape tape. That's when you could run a truck. Not all now where they're all trying to say, let's save fuel. Forget that, Had to use landing gear with the high gear in all the way out position instead of the in position. This was worse than Somalia. Some of them are a disaster. You haven't done a truck stop walk around in a while. That is true. I got all the truck stops in the area, and then it got cold out. So pink is my favorite color. Trucking, very nice. As a home daily driver, where do you fuel? Generally the Petro. So on the way back from the Natty, I'll fill up at the Petro in New Point, Indiana. Because why? It's on my side of the road. That's actually why I stopped there. So if they are full, or for some reason I can't get in the fuel island, then I'll continue on to the Loves, which is in St. John, I think is the name of that city. But that you got to cross over. So I use the UPS idea of right turns only, or as many right turns as possible. So I try to fuel on my side of the highway. So that's the only reason I go to the Petro, because fleets usually don't allow their trucks to fuel there. So there's usually a fuel island, and it's on my side of the road. So it's all really about me, basically, to get back sooner. I love using a shower credit at Loves to take a ton of privacy when I poop. George Costanza, yeah, sometimes if you got a lot of these or unlimited, you can just burn them off to do whatever you want in the shower, basically. And plus, you got a shower there. I almost went with North Sea Gray. Oh, I wonder how that would look. See, I wish I could see them on a truck then if I'm actually picking the truck color out, but you can do what you can online, I guess. Cash is King Trucking. I was showing my junk to a sensor at Loves. I thought I was being recorded. Yeah, they're just counting it. And the problem is they count only a half. So they're like, 0.5. And you're like, oh, dang it. What is happening? Hey, dude, it hurts when you pee. Stay away from the lot lizards. Yeah, save your $5. Keep that $5 where you need it. The manhole has similar counters, but they have attendants. I'm in West Greenwich, Rhode Island at the TA. Just noticed their historical cemetery in front of the fuel island. Really? You should go over there and check it out. Is it all drivers that used to work there? They do need sensors at the TA because it seems like they never clean the bathroom. I think the TA has the dirtiest bathrooms. Yeah, well, then they should. Right? And I think it's not a bad idea to count, and after so many people go in there, maybe they go check it or something, or maybe they have every 2 hours, but if 100 people go in, then it's either 100 or 2 hours or something like that. It's not a bad idea, but people complain that it was cameras, and it's not. Can you imagine if they were actually filming people in the bathroom and that got out? I mean, oh my gosh. Talk about a nightmare on the internet. Has anyone heard of Blue Devil for oil leaks? Does this product work? Well, what Click and Clack say from Car Talk, one of my favorite podcasts and shows on the radio ever, if there's ever a leak in your car of any kind and you want to add something to that, always look for something with the word miracle on it. That's what they tell everybody. Look for something that has the word miracle in it, and that always seems to work better. But what they really say, right, is just fix the leak. But use something with the word miracle. Cash is King Trucking. I think I could use my bunk heater to stay warm below zero. Idle below zero to prevent issues. Right, I agree with you. But I think, especially with the curtains closed, if you had the middle curtains closed in the truck, I think you could stay warm pretty into 20 or 30 below zero. It cranks heat out of that thing. Does Loves measure for width? Because some of you big dogs are doing damage. Yeah, I think it's just one per. Zappa's where I got it from. Oh, all right, yeah. Those auto starts are terrible if you have a breathing machine when the truck starts. The machine stops working for a second and you're woke up gasping for air. Ugh. Is there a way to plug that in somehow then, to a power source that is uninterrupted? Yikes. Oh, you know what? Maybe you could talk to a company about letting the truck run because of a medical condition. I wonder if they would oblige that and say, look, you're waking me up all night. The truck wakes me up. That's interesting. Have your doctor, maybe ask your doctor to write a note to you that you require this. I wonder if that would work. My trucking company, it would be known as Mr. Ed's Color of my fleet may be Old Chicago Northwestern color, theme green and yellow, Mr. Ed. Smaller companies are generally not too bad to work for, but you have to do your homework. Yeah, there are tons of small places that are horrible and tons of large places that are horrible. It's all looking into it, asking questions, checking into everything, seeing if what they say is correct and all that for any place, right? 5 drivers or 5,000. Pink is just red being lazy. The Korean Mafia has all dark orange trucks for new trucks. The Detroit diesels with DEF run perfectly for at least 400,000. Oh, you're doing better than some of the trucks do it for that many miles on them. I'll tell you that. 3 rights make a left. Right. Well, see the Petro, when you get off there, it's right there. That's all that's at that exit is that Petro. So you get off and you can go right in there. And at the top of the ramp, you can see the fuel islands. If they're full, I just get right back on the highway and head down to the Loves because I don't like to waste time fueling the truck. And on this truck, I only have to fuel every other day because it has bigger tanks. Mohammed, hello, sir. What's going on? Korean Mafia gets rid of them at 400,000. Oh, all right. Some of ours don't last 100,000 with that DEF, and then some last no problem. You should go to IHOP for breakfast, Roger Penske. The wife is not with me at that time, so I'm bringing her breakfast home on Sundays, and so she likes the biscuits there. So that's why I go there, but not if they're not open. She doesn't get out of the house a lot. Hey, Mark, have you heard anything good or bad about Arthur Express? No. Is anybody on here that works there right now? Got to go, Mark. Catch you next time. Roy, well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. You can bake French fries and a bunk heater. It is so hot. Yeah, exactly, on a bunk heater. They come out. People write to me all the time. Mark, I don't think this is going to keep me warm. It's only got one vent or whatever. It keeps the truck plenty warm. Plenty warm. Crank that thing up. These set a time, a 10-hour time. Some don't. But it will keep the truck plenty warm. Poop alone or not at all. Exactly. Well, you don't want to share the room there. The midlife trucker, the law firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. I hope that you listen to Car Talk because you are correct. And that is a great show, recorded all the time. Get it on your favorite podcasting app. They're redoing shows. I think they're in about 1991 right now is when the shows, they're played 2 a week now. North Korean Mafia trucks have missiles. That's true. My international goes about 9 hours before it auto starts. Oh, all right. So you almost make the whole night anyways, depending on what you have plugged in, I suppose. They could connect the machine to an inverter. That doesn't shut off when the truck shuts off. There's got to be a way to do it so that the truck isn't waking you up. I think if the truck is interrupting your sleep, I would talk to them about it in writing. As I was saying, tell them, look, because of the way that you're trying to save fuel, you are interrupting my sleep, and it is impossible for me to get a good night's sleep and be safe, and let them sit on that in writing, on that kind of stuff. All you're trying to do is be safe. I'm not trying to waste fuel. I just want to be safe. Waffle House is better than IHOP. We do not have a Waffle House here, thinking about it. There is an IHOP. I don't think there's a Waffle House in town. Fuel pump islands are going up wheels, security cameras on the fuel desk, and they just smell. Yeah, look, that's where they ought to have security cameras actually filming drivers. I've seen this thing too. That is got to be the most disgusting and ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I wish companies would see that. I'm going to start filming these people and send it to their companies because that's ridiculous and borderline illegal. I go, yeah, but it's only misdemeanor for you. I tell that guy, wait, hold on. Are you paid to fuel the truck? I'm on the salary program, so I guess sort of, right? So a 5-day run pays me a flat rate. They should have a TV show called The Billy Big Rig and Chicken Light Charlie. Wow, that's a long name. Next on Discovery Plus. Nothing makes me skinnier than the purge that comes after devouring the awful waffle. I bet. You lose more than you gain. Did you ever get the $50 for Saturday? No, did not work Saturday. So when I was on Friday night, right, that's just in my normal work time. It would have been the next day. It would have been Saturday to Sunday because, how the times go. No, they never called back or anything either. So Art Express has a lease type program where the trucks are rentals from Penske, midlife trucker. Yeah, but okay. So, the question is it a legit 1099 kind of thing or no? I mean, that would be okay as long as it's legit. I saw Flying J that had a clock above each fuel island. It told you how long the person had been on the island, but they don't do anything about the clock. I mean, okay, so I see 10 minutes or whatever. They need to do something. They should be able to look at it inside and go, get the heck out of here. I think at 10 minutes, a chain ought to come up and grab the truck and yank it out of the fuel line. I saw Flying J that at a clock. Okay. My truck does not interrupt power when it auto starts. Okay, good. Yeah, because if it did, I think you could write him and say, because of you, I can't sleep. You're in my dreams, tell them. Plattsburgh, New York had an F-111 at the Air Force Base. Wow. When is that from? How many years ago is that from? Mapco Logistics is the guy who let me pick the color of the Peterbilt 567. That's pretty good. After years, you get to pick your color. I mean, that is a good idea. I don't even think it costs them extra, unless it's like a car. I never priced a truck out like that. Is it like a car where only one color is free, or two colors like Tesla where you only get one color and the rest costs extra? Even so, for $1,000 or a few $100, well worth it. And I'd probably ask him this. I'll take a seat over the color if there's a cost to it. Well, I might ask him for both of them to start with. I'd like a new seat, a better seat and a color, and then see what I get, but I'd settle on the seat. The color's nice too, though. I still think a seat is worth something in a truck, an upgraded seat, where you have this seat with 50 million buttons on it, and it vibrates and massages you and everything. I mean, that's what we're looking for here, not this other kind of stuff that they do. Don't forget to go, and I'll have this in the description, where I just talked to a reporter. I'm going to put that in the description because I can't get to it right now. She wants to hear from drivers that either were in a contract or had a contract for training at a truck school, mainly. Now, although she would like to talk to all drivers, because they're doing a story. They started out with Sierra England, but we kind of expanded it to a lot more of the industry. I talked to her for an hour yesterday about it. And I'm like, look, you can get more drivers to talk to. So she wants to talk to more drivers about how that works, how they treated you, all that kind of thing in the industry. I talked to her about the CRST lawsuits and, which she didn't know about, and 3 bunk trucks and everything. We're getting the message out there, and I'll have her in there. And I did post her email on the Facebook page of Trucking Answers and in the UFCD group for the Federation, the private group, which I encourage everyone to join as well. And go email her and say, hey, I'd like to talk to you about this, about contracts. I heard about it here at Trucking Answers, and I'll talk to you about contracts. So she wants to hear from the driver's side. She's talked to companies. She said they won't write back to her. They're trying to investigate it, and they won't write to her. So let's tell her how it is. Did you read the book by Dewey Cheatham? Have you ever read the book Yellow River by 1P Daily? No, I haven't read that. I like Waffle House, but they always seem to have hardly any customers. Well, that's good. That's how I would like it in there. That way I get served better. The law firm across the street is fierce competition. Their name is Roper, Bender, and Raper. Wow, that's a tough one. Dewey Cheatham and how this is from the Three Stooges. It's also from, that is true, but also from Click and Clack. The Tappet brothers. Bunk heaters have been known to melt anything blocking it, as well by start a fire if you're not careful. Yes, because it comes, I believe, because it comes out so hot, that I totally believe. You need to have that vent, which is on my truck, it's close to the floor, clear that vent out. But I want that clear so I can get all that hot air coming out of there. Absolutely. Don't let stuff fall there or whatever. Don't store all your open lasagna containers. The local Fox affiliate had a story about trucking referencing Business Insider. Yeah, that's Grace. And on some of them, well, one of the Fox ones had a story about KLLM, which I'm not in, but they have referenced other ones, and I'm in those. So I've been in a few of them in the last couple of weeks. So we are getting the message out that quick. We don't have Waffle House in New York State, just IHOPs. Yeah, I don't think there's one in town. Thinking about it, there's not one here in Lafayette. There is an IHOP, which is actually close to Burger King. Waffle House and Huddle House are awesome. Best on the road. Oh, definitely no Huddle House here. Isn't that a southern kind of thing? We don't have a Huddle House. The best place for breakfast is Fred's Place on Lake Street in Elmhurst, Illinois. Truck parking in the rear. That not everybody can get there, of course. But absolutely. Backwoods, I hope all is well. Absolutely. Going good. Getting ready for some cold weather. So everybody get all your warm weather. Wear a hat, right? And be warm outside. And don't shovel. I just read an article about this. If you're 55 or over, they recommend you not shovel at all. And at 45, consider not shoveling. Because the coldness outside constricts your blood vessels. They're actually talking about this. You're much more likely to have a heart attack like shoveling than you are, exercising in a warm room. So don't just go, I'm a tough guy, I can shovel. Right. 1,500 people a year die from shoveling. Hire somebody to shovel. That's what they're suggesting. I was shocked to see it. Usually they're promoting the Branch Covidian cult. That's right. CRC having a blacklist for trucking companies that won't hire you if you try to change company. Yes. Celtic Rooster Travels, and I did talk to her about that, where they were blacklisting drivers. And she's like, well, why would they do that if there's a shortage? I go, indeed. Let's ask them that, right? Let's get this printed out. So, a lot of this, reporters don't know this side of it. And so it's time for us to tell them and get our side out. They've had their chance in the media. Now it's our time, right? They can't hide anymore. And so now we're out there getting noticed. And every time we're in somewhere, other places call. It's just the rock going down the hill. Exactly. All we do is kick that rock over the edge. Now it's rolling. That's exactly how it's working. Exactly how it's working. I don't mind taking her calls on Sunday, whatever we got to do to get this message out. That's what we're going to do. When I see someone slip and fall, I just want to call click and clack it. Laugh track blast on loudspeaker. Oh, that's some of the best parts of the show. That guy has me rolling. My student's from Africa. Nice guy. All right. He never had a sloppy Joe. Really? So I'm making sloppy Joes tomorrow night for him. Going to use the toaster oven to broil them with cheese on it. Oh, this guy never had a sloppy Joe. Has he ever had a White Castle? Okay, that's something else he needs to do. So as you come back, where you are, they don't have them. But as you come back over here, get the guy a White Castle, would you? I mean, oh my gosh, it's never going to leave. The Blacklist is a TV show. Spacey, Kevin Spacey. Shoveling, that's why I live in Georgia. Well, didn't it snow a couple inches in Atlanta? But, well, maybe it's only an up here thing, but that was just out there on the radio that 1,500 people a year die from shoveling because the cold constricts your blood vessels. And they said 55, they said, is the cutoff. Even if you think you're in good shape or whatever, because of that, don't shovel. Exercising in like a gym or where it's warm is way different than shoveling. So I said, well, 30 some years when I get to that age, I'll consider that absolutely. Cracker Barrel, there's usually a line, and they don't have breakfast. This one opens at 11, and it's busy. So I agree with you. It's right there in the exit. You could almost walk there. If you're pretty hardy, you could walk there from Meyer. If you parked at Meyer at exit 172 in Lafayette, you could walk across the street to Cracker Barrel. Snyder used that blacklist and settled out of court. I know, but there's two places, right? I can't remember the two that are still on it, that are still in the case. Absolutely. It's ridiculous. They can't complain about this in blacklist drivers. That makes you an indentured servant. When you can't get a job anywhere, you're basically an indentured servant, I think. And that's the words I used with her, so I hope she prints it like that. The Pink Pussycat Salsa seat with a 6-inch knob on it. Is that on the menu there? I heard Western Denver Company let you order your truck how you want it after so many years. They do. After so many years, you get to pick from a list of about 20 different items that they have that you can order. I don't know if color's one of them, because their trucks match, but the interior, you get to upgrade the seat, you get a gauge package, you get chrome on it and stuff. Yes. Now the pay there's really low relative to the industry, so you're almost paying for those upgrades out of your own check. I mean, if you're losing, say, 10 cents a mile over a year, that's 10 grand. Okay, so that, they've made on you that you would have made for yourself. So, but if that's the kind of thing you want to do, they have some of the nicest trucks on the road. 1,500 die a year from shoveling. Well, the gods of the north demand sacrifices. Yeah, because it's mostly men, like 90% of it is men, of course, because I'm tough, I can shovel. And then they go, they shovel and they die, especially in wet snow or whatever. Let somebody else do the shoveling for you. As long as the breakfast place serves grits, I know it's good. Well, that's Cracker Barrel. That's the only place to get grits around here, basically. Our Cracker Barrel. And then, I like grits a certain way, so you can't just, there's watery grits, come on. You're going to eat White Castles, you need to make sure your guy's going to be out of the truck very soon. Oh, you get him on the last day. You get him a sack of White Castles to go. Oh, yeah, not while he's in the truck. Yeah, I should say that. That's the last day. That's what he gets. Inches back in 2005, we still talk about, they called it snowpocalypse. For you guys, right. I know it's blasphemous to say this, But Bob Evans is overrated. Yeah, I said it. There's a Bob Evans here. We don't go to Bob Evans much. Bleed your tanks. They have a no water policy. Oh, nice. And Baker's, California, Zingos has great vittles. Zingos. I never heard of that place. Big wieners that squirt juice when squeezed can be messy. Those are a problem. There's something to honor your word in the contract that you signed. Research before signing. Yes. And I agree, and that's what I was telling her, is that, yes, you signed a contract and you agree to work there, but I think there have to be two sides to a contract. It can't be just that you work there and make $300 a week, although I guess they don't guarantee how much you'll make. You know, a wage that is not enough to even live on is I don't know that that's them honoring their side of it. I think they should provide a wage that it's at least livable on the road. You got to feed yourself and all that, so I agree with you. You should stay there, but they have to make their side of it too. That's all I'm saying. As long as they do that, then yes. Only good things about the Waffle House are the 2 a.m. weekend fights. I know. I don't know how many people I beat up at a Waffle House. We used to go to Fred's and Elmer's after a long night of playing darts at the club. Not Fred's. I have no issue shoveling sunshine. Yeah. What is it over there today? 75? Remember, don't get diesel fuel on your skin in the Arctic weather. What happens? Although why would you wear gloves? But why? What'll happen to it? Harbor Gilkey, is there any way for an unemployed person to get a DOT physical? Yeah, you could just walk into any DOT clinic and that's approved. Just give them a call, make sure, and pay for a DOT physical. You don't have to have a company do it. You can take a DOT physical every day if you wanted to go buy one. So, like the clinic here, the company pays for it because I'm an employee, but which they don't have to, I guess, but they pay it. But I could just go and take one today. I go, you know what? I'm going to come and take a physical here. I think they're $65 now, so you could just pay for it. Certainly possible. Cents per mile has to be stopped. Driver trucking need to be paid by the hour. I personally think that's the best way, and 77% of people at the private Facebook page voted for that as well. So hourly pay, but the way I put it is all time in the truck, not just work time. If you're at work, you get paid. Because if you're at work at Burger King and no cars come, you still have to be paid. You're at work. They don't only pay you when you're taking an order. You need to keep your windshield wash fluid from gelling. Add anti-gel to your reservoir. Yeah, alcohol. Add alcohol to it. 91%. Research that before signing. It's not like it isn't on the web. Well, I will tell you, the reviews are on the web, but finding the contract from these companies, I've looked for them. They don't post them. They're very hard to find. But certainly before you sign it, you should read it. Everything that you sign, you should read. And that's, people don't even do that. Read exactly what you're signing. Read it. Oh, it's kind of cold with the Arctic blast. It made it down to 60 today. So what are you in your members only light windbreaker? Members only. That's really good. And remember also, as we head out to, if you wear it to make it a parrot always, right? Put something on your head and we'll keep one ear warm. Just so you know that I've done that. Outside I get out, I go, wow, my one ear is really cold because I'm talking to somebody. GP Transco is here today. I want to thank you for being here. You can always check out GP Transco right there. How about that? And we can also check out Cheeseman. They're hiring around the country. Limited positions available, as good companies only have limited positions. So give them a call and see if there's a position in your area. And we talked about Dot today too. How about that? Dot? How about Dot? Move some food around. They also have only limited positions, but that's how better companies go, isn't it? Fleet Nav Systems was here. They're shoveling again because of their location. They are Geotab experts when they're not busy out shoveling. Everyone there is younger, so they can be out shoveling. Cash is King Trucking, thank you for being here today. He's live every 10 minutes, and also Trucking with Diabetes over there. Interesting videos. I thought that was pretty good on the, actually saw that on lowering the suspension. Does that help? Not really. Turns out not really. Don't forget about Jay. Auto Transport Intel. I like to hawk Jay here. He's great. Because I don't know anything about cars, and I get questions about cars. And, of course, go head on over to the United Federation of Commercial Drivers. We have a private Facebook page. Go check that out and just spread the word. Look, if you can just do that, that's something. If you can join, that's great. If you can spread the word, that would be a big help, too. Spread the word. Let everybody know, including the press. The press. That's where we're headed, out into the big world. Are you still on hold with Stevens, waiting to hear back about what they offer? I still am. The on hold music, it's the best of the 90s they're playing right now. It's how long I've been on hold for them. I don't want to be paid by the hour. Slackers shouldn't earn the same as hard chargers. Yeah, I mean, that is the other side of it, right? The downside of mileage is that if the company has slackers, for instance, the people that get load planners and stuff, I don't get paid anything, and I can't control that. So how do we solve that? How about I guess a guarantee would solve it. So that there's a minimum that I can't fall under, even if they don't do their job. So that would be the next best, I think. Some kind of higher guarantee. Then they're at least held to something. So that even hard workers, like you're saying, would get more. But if they're not working hard in the office, I don't get any money, and there's nothing I can do about it. I can't go book my own loads. So if we could solve that, then I'm in with you. And really, at your place, you're getting paid for a lot of this time that nobody pays for. Who's paying for breaks out there? Hardly anybody. Leave the shoveling thing. I did this and felt like I had no oxygen. Joe, look, it's a thing as you get older. Now, in my extreme upper 30s, I don't know anything about this yet. But as I, in the decades ahead of me, I will consider not shoveling. That's the kind of thing I have to consider. I'm just talking to you older people, People, there's outfits paying $35 an hour. In Indy, there's 27 to 32 to start in Indianapolis an hour. Now, that would be for local drivers. I'm talking on the road. I could see on the road where, at least a guarantee. Then if there's slackers in the office, it doesn't hurt my paycheck. Meatloaf died. Meatloaf died 74 years old. And Louis Anderson died this week, 68 years old. So that's terrible. That's terrible. Meatloaf, 100 million albums. How about that for a legacy? And that's how you know you've done something in your life, because as soon as you die, they have TV shows ready for you and an obit ready and stuff. That's the difference between, making a huge difference and not, I guess, because he just knows. So, Celtic Rooster Travels, I joined the Federation Day. Thank you very much. We are rolling, and we can do more warp speed because of that. How about that? But I do appreciate that, and that's going to change trucking. That's what we're going to do. Change trucking. Instant frostbite, getting diesel on hands in cold weather, plus you'd stink in the truck. One drop of that in the truck, and you can't do anything. If they aren't getting you the miles, you leave. That's true, I guess. That's true. Okay, but that would be the same with hourly, even at a local hourly job, right? Any place that doesn't give you the money you want, you leave. That's fair. I can see that. See, I think you're coming from a different side because you're getting paid for all this stuff. You're like a place that pays for stuff I've never even heard of places paying for. That's why you hardly need any drivers, too. So I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I think company drivers should be able to pick loads and use the load board. Some places do that. I've seen at least where I didn't Crete do this for a while. You can choose from 3 loads or 4 loads. Schaefer did that too, I think. You get to pick the loads in your area. I think that's not a bad idea. Company drivers should pick the load they want. Drivers who could go long would get that, and drivers that don't want a long run, I don't know why they don't let you do it. Since I'm line haul, I would take a salary in a heartbeat. So it just depends what you're doing, right? Because then you'd get the same thing. New meatloaf recipe, $1,400 for 15 minutes. Oh my gosh, midlife trucker. That's terrible. That's terrible. I hope everyone is navigating the endless pandemic. Yeah, we're like 3 years into 15 days to slow the spread, right? So that's pretty good. Of course, be safe out there for everything. I want to thank everybody for being here. Don't forget the podcast comes out every Tuesday and Friday, weather permitting. As I say, the only weather permitting podcast in podcast land that can be delayed because of weather, but it could be. And so I'm going to head out and see what they're doing over there at work today, and hopefully the road's cleared up. So that's how we're doing that. And so I want to thank everybody for being here today. First was Joan Harper, and then we had Cash is King Trucking. Midlife Trucker was here. Thank you for being here. Celtic Rooster Travels. I appreciate you being here. George Wilson was here. Joe. It was a big group today. Michael Swift. George Costanza was here. Thank you for being here. Paladin, who's banned for warm weather issues. Robert Gilkey was here today. Warm weather. Let's see here. John Zablack was here today, so we're going to head on out and see what they're doing. Donkey Bite was here. Oh, a lot of people. Fred Zeppelin. I love that. Right. Captain Cleaner Wiener, thank you for being here. Backwoods was here. And so we are going out into the big land. It's Mr. Plow was here, and we're going to head on out that way. So be safe.